I want to let you know about some new tour dates. I will be coming to Miami, Florida, or Hollywood, Florida, actually, on April 7th. That is the day before the UFC fights at the Hard Rock Live. We will be in Uncasville, Connecticut on July 21 at the Mohegan Sun Arena. We will be in Bethlehem, PA on July 22 at the Wind Creek Event Center. And Atlantic City, New Jersey, July 23rd at the Hard Rock Live. We also have some tickets left in Houston, Texas, Hampton Beach, New Hampshire, Medford, Massachusetts, New York City, and Las Vegas. So you can grab those. Some of those are bigger venues, but we will have screens in those venues, and that's not going to become the regular deal. These dates will be live with artist code Rat King on Wednesday, March 1st at 10 a.m. local. General on sale begins Friday, March 3rd. Get all your tickets through theovon.com/TOUR to make sure you're getting accurately priced tickets. And thank you guys so much for your support on the Return of the Rat tour. We now have Be Good to Yourself crew necks available in light blue, maroon, and cement. That Embankment Gang color, you know it. Check these out along with the new Windbreaker at theovonstore.com. And thank you for your support. Today's guest just finished his new album, College Park, which you can grab out there. He has 7 albums that have been created. He's a rapper and a producer. He's now delving more into the worlds of YouTube and TikTok, so you can get to know him as a human as well. He's Grammy nominated. You may know him as the Young Sinatra. Today's guest is Logic.
Shine that light on me. I'll sit and tell you my stories. Shine on me, and I will find a song I will sing it. I'm on stage.
You got an elevator nearby.
That's annoying. I have a fucking elevator in my house. Well, it's like on the outside of it.
Dang, rich check.
But
Wow, bro. What do you mean you have a real elevator? And what do you have people like waiting? Like, how do you?
well, no, there's just an elevator that's like it's like in my building, but it's basically my elevator, basically.
Like, so say if you get in it and the door's open, where are you?
I'm at my door.
But are you in your in your condo or home, or are you at?
No, I'm like a door
lobby.
away. I'm
Okay.
a door away. But it's not a lobby. It's like a private, it's like right there. Like it's like a shared, it's like me and the other, because I'm in Malibu in this condo. So
Oh, nice.
it's a vibe. So you go all the way down. But wait, what I was going to say was, I'm really happy to be here.
Thanks, man.
Seriously. You're like TikTok Ellen.
Oh, dang.
It's a big deal to be here.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a similar haircut, or at some point we did. And we're both from Louisiana, which is kind of crazy. You probably wouldn't think that Ellen's from Louisiana, huh?
I didn't know that you were both from, I didn't know she was from there.
Yeah, I think she grew up there. Can you look that up, Zach? Huh?
Ellen DeGeneres. Oh, yeah. Yo, Ellen DeGeneres that was my big thing. I always wanted to be on Ellen because I watched Ellen since I was a little boy.
Yeah.
And then I was like, yo, if you make it on Ellen, like you made it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I actually went to Ellen and performed. I met Kobe.
He was there when you went on?
Dude, yeah, Kobe was there. Let's see, what does it say?
Metairie, Louisiana.
Wow, Louisiana, that's crazy.
Wow, Metairie's kind of wild. Metairie's a good place to, like if you want to do drugs with somebody that's Italian at night.
Okay. Well, speaking of drugs,
That's a good place.
she was originally supposed to be the chick in Pulp Fiction, the not Uma Thurman, not Uma Thurman's character, but do you remember when when they were like stabbing her in the heart to give her the adrenaline, the shot of adrenaline, and the chick's house when John Travolta's like, "Who's that girl with all that shit on her face?" and he's like, "That's my wife." Ellen was supposed to play the chick with all the shit on her face.
Oh, really?
Yeah, fun fucking fact. Oh,
That's
there
her.
it is. Yeah, that would have been Ellen DeGeneres.
That would have been Ellen?
Yeah,
Oh, dang.
yeah, but that was a highlight for me. Is when
And you went there.
What you mean?
You went to Ellen.
Yeah, I went there. Well, I went twice actually.
Damn.
Yeah, and then we became like homies, and then next thing I know, I'm like, us and our wives are like at her restaurant, and fucking Leonardo DiCaprio comes up and he's like, "Oh, what's up, Logic?" Blah blah. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? What's my life? I felt like somehow I was like joining the Illuminati.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Yeah, it must sort of feel like as you get more popular that you start to meet certain people and you're like, damn, am I getting closer to like meeting like the final like lizard boss or whatever?
Yeah, I guess.
You know?
Bro, it's insane. I'm actually, because I'm going ham on social media now.
Uh-huh.
Like I'm like taking it so seriously, spending really good money on, you know, my team, my camera guys, my editing. Like I have in-house editors and I have 2 houses that I'm paying because I have so much shit that's coming. Because I've realized
like editor trafficking, it sounds like almost.
I'm editor trafficking.
Dang.
Yeah, but it's all good.
Yeah.
And no, but I really believe in like this next chapter of my career where I'm just going to be making music and having a blast. But like I feel that my personality is really what makes me me. It's what makes Logic, you know, the biracial guy, like just being myself. And I'm about to lean into that shit hard as fuck. So, but what was I saying about Ellen?
Well, it's interesting. I think like as I watch you, I think like first, obviously people get to know you through your music, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Or a lot of people have. But I also find, and I found this, I haven't found this about a lot of musicians, and a lot of musicians kind of aren't interesting. They're interesting through their music, but they aren't. I've found a lot of musicians are tough to interview because
That's the personification. They're trying to portray like who they are on the record rather than allowing themselves to just be them. You know what I mean? It's like Mariah Carey takes shits. You know what I mean? But maybe she doesn't want to talk about that on the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I got to use wet wipes. What about you?
I'm still afraid to admit which way I wipe.
What you mean? You be wiping towards the ball?
I mean, I don't know.
Are you fucking serious?
No,
What?
That's crazy.
You what? You wipe towards your balls?
I don't think so.
Anyway, man. So I use I use wet wipes.
I don't know. I mean, they should have people like kind of like that should be something you have to like instead of like your gender, like say which way you wipe. Like that way people can just assume your gender right there.
I get it, I guess. I don't know, but I've never heard of a man wiping towards his balls.
Yeah, that's insane. I think that'd be who would do it, you know?
It was
Nobody I know.
Yeah. Anyway, question. I have a question for you. Is first of all, are you cool talking about like nothing weird. I'm just saying like family, like if I asked you about family and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I don't know. You never know.
Yeah, totally.
So your dad, when he had you, was 70 years old?
Yeah.
Bro. Because I was looking shit up because like I've seen, you know, cool stand up, fun stuff like that. But I like before I came to the show, I was like, man, I really want to know even more about this guy. So that means that your father was born like over 110 years ago?
Yeah. Let me think. It's so funny you asked this, man. I was just thinking about him the other day, and I was thinking about how old he would be if he was alive. He was born in 1910.
Crazy.
So he would be 113 this year.
Wow.
It'd be crazy. My grandfather was born in 1880.
But to be busting nuts at 70.
Oh, I don't want to do it.
That's wild.
Because your heart could stop.
Well, that reminds me of my dad.
I feel like every time you're like getting close, it's just a risk, man. How old was your dad? And thank you for asking, man. It's sweet to you that you checked out and you care. It's nice to think about my dad. I was thinking the other day how it would be cool if they had a place where you could take clothing from like a deceased parent and put it on a mannequin and go spend time with your family in a weird way. Like,
that's funny.
Like if people need that kind of healing in their lives or something. I know you had kind of a wild upbringing. So you started out in Maryland, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just for our audience that doesn't know, because some of our audience might not know you and I want them to get to know you. And so you started out in Maryland and your parents are both your parents are different colors, right?
Yeah, my dad's black and my mom is white, and I was conceived in a crack house after they had met each other after about 3 days. Yep, and then
a Bender baby.
Bender baby. Yeah, my mom was a prostitute. My dad was a crack addict for a long time. I'm named after my dad, and yeah. What's really crazy though is I remember my dad telling me, he was like, yeah, you know, I got a paternity test to make sure your ass was mine. Because I came out looking white as fuck.
Yeah.
Because it's very apparent my father is a black man. Like he's not half black, he's not this, he's fucking black. And I thought he did it like when I came out the canal. But literally, bro, like 3 days ago, a buddy of mine was at my crib and he's like, oh, fuck, I got a warrant. I'm like, what do you mean you got a warrant? And he's like, I got a warrant in Maryland. And I'm like, bro, when's the last time you were there? He was like, 10 years ago. I'm like, oh shit, what do you got to do? So he has to write the judge. Long story short, he was looking up his criminal history on this website. And he's like, yeah, you can type in anybody's name. And I'm like, yo, type in my fucking dad. So he types in my dad. And my dad's like, bro, he like stole my identity and maxed out credit cards before I was 18 and shit because we have the same name. And so I'm like, let's look it up. So we look it up and I'm just seeing like petty theft, car theft, possession charges. And then I see Terry Lee Miller, my mother's maiden name, versus Robert Hall, defendant. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? And it says paternity/child support. Bro, it's like 1999. So I'm 9 years old.
Right.
And I look this, it's so crazy. Like, bro, I never knew, like, you know, I heard about it. I kind of saw things when I was a kid, but you don't really put too much together.
Yeah, and then you see on the internet, you're kind of, sometimes you're like
Bro,
wandering through yourself.
It's like I'm reading, I already wrote a biography. You know what I mean? I wrote an autobiography. So now I'm reading something that's even crazier. And so what's hilarious is that it shows like that my dad took a paternity test because he was like, that ain't my baby.
Yeah.
9 years later.
Who waits 9 years? Wonder what if you did something at 8 years old that he's like, nah, I'm out.
Yeah. But the best part is, fuck the internet, I'm black. I told you.
Yeah.
I fucking told you. So yeah, that was wild.
Dude, yeah, I think these days, yeah, being black definitely helps. I think everything's kind of heading towards that kind of Ben Simmons kind of trans sort of vibe where everybody's going to be. I think
olive people.
That's what I said.
Olive
We've
people,
always
man.
said like beige power, like in 3 generations, you're going to need, even now you need like a chart to be racist. I feel like you need like a, you know what I'm saying? You need to like carry the one if you're really going to get into it. It's like you can't even yell. You used to just be able to yell like or something out of the window and it would land on somebody. But now it's like everybody's,
what? Yeah, exactly. I agree. But yeah, crazy.
That's crazy, man.
Upbringing.
Did it make you feel like he didn't care or something at that point? Because that would be, I feel like if I saw that, or did your mom like instigate it and so that's why he had to do it?
No, I definitely think she wanted child support, but also I'm just like, woman, what you gonna get from a crackhead? Like, I'm just being real, right? I love my dad. He's clean nowadays. I haven't talked to him in a couple of years and I just texted him the other day. And so I'm always trying, it's like a fucking black hole, no pun intended, that I'm always trying to go through. It's just whatever. Anyway, I'm like, woman, why would you even try to get child support when the man can't take care of himself at the time? So I'm like, it just, to me, it doesn't make sense. But now your dad has my dad on age nut busting, but my dad was 63. This is what's really crazy. So I'm one of 9.
Wow.
But I'm the only child between my mother and my father. So my mother has all her children are with black men, and all my brothers and sisters on my dad's side, they're all, so everybody's mixed, but I'm the whitest looking mother. I'm the most transparent. And what's crazy is at 33 years ago, after I was born, my dad got a vasectomy. Okay. And then 5 years ago, I find out that I have a little brother.
No.
So the story is a wild one. Now,
So he was already chopped out and then he got a new baby somehow?
yeah, that shit just poked through. And it's his. Because you know they made him get a paternity test. Just like me.
Yeah, I know, dude.
So what's
He probably just has a stack of P-tests at his house, man.
What's wild though about my dad is that, who I love, I'm just keeping it real. You know what's I always find really funny is like sometimes my family would be like, we don't want our business out there. And I'm like, well, then you shouldn't have done all that dumbass shit. What the fuck do you mean? But anyway, I would never say anything too crazy. But this is all public fucking knowledge. So either
apparently,
way.
fuck.
Yeah, exactly. So my dad, I find out I have a little brother. It's like 2018. And I wrote about this in my book because I actually wanted to adopt my brother, but that's another story. So I had a stepmother. Her name was Debbie. And Debbie and my dad would use together. And Debbie OD'd and wound up in a coma for 4 months. So she's in a coma. Beautiful woman. She's in a coma. My dad is like, all right, well, this sucks. He's in the program, AA, and he goes up to one of his friends and they're talking to that. They find out that a close friend of his is dying. I think it was like cancer or something. So he goes to see her and like her last words are like, take care of my daughter. And her daughter was like this young 21-year-old girl. And he took care of her. He fucked her and knocked her up.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so AA.
She is so AA. Everyone's fucking each other. And anyway, knocks her up. Shortly after the baby's born, she dies of a heroin overdose.
No.
Then, and now this had happened a bit before, but while all this was happening, my dad had started seeing a woman who I think is now his current wife. And then his then wife comes out of the coma and he's like, it's over. I'm just like, yo, that's so crazy.
Well, sometimes women take a long time to decide.
Yeah,
Like, that's crazy. Yeah, but it's like, wow, she can. I love how the first thing she gets out of the coma.
I know. And then unfortunately she OD'd and died a couple years later. But this is like the life I grew up in, man. Just drugs and violence and guns and my brothers running in the streets. And
you have surprise siblings. It's like.
Surprise siblings, bro. Like 11 years old,
Yeah.
I found out I had 4 siblings. I was like,
Man.
what?
It seems like such a chaotic environment to grow up in. Like, were there like some special times you remember like spending with your mom or dad that was just kind of like you and them one-on-one that was kind of like a warm, like human kind of time?
Yeah. I remember this one time my dad stole my earring and pawned it for crack. That was dope.
Damn. It was just one earring too?
It was just one earring.
Yeah.
No, I guess a few times I had with my dad was music because he's a musician. So he plays like go-go music, which is prominent in DC. And he played with EU and Chuck Brown and different people. And I think that's where I get a lot of my musical talent. But he's the type of motherfucker though, he would like take me to the studio. And if there was like studio time that he schemed, like I would get none of it. Like he'd be like in there singing, like, he's got some songs. One of his most famous lines is she's just a crackhead bitch sucking on the devil's ding dong. And he's talking about smoking a pipe. I'm like, yo.
I feel like that's copywritten, dude. I've heard that. Every crackhead, I feel like, plays that.
Straight up.
I feel like that is like the national anthem.
My mom, there was definitely, for as sick mentally as my mother was and is, I haven't talked to her in over a decade now, unfortunately.
Wow.
And I'd love to, but she's just not there. She's the type of person to be like, don't take the Lord's name in vain, God damn it, you motherfucker. Like crazy. You know what I'm saying? And she'd hit me with the hard R and all my brothers and sisters growing up. It's weird. It was
really?
Like, yeah, man.
Your mom would M-bomb you.
Yeah, bro. It was like this systemic, because she, I remember her telling me that she brought, a 14-year-old black boy home to introduce to her parents. And they were like, we don't mix with their kind here, like wild shit.
Right. It was like old school racism.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So it was in her. Because she would always, obviously, she's fucking black, guys. You're not, you know what I mean? It's like,
who's fucking them. Usually back in the day, they were driving like a Honda Civic. It would be kind of like a thick girl that got sunburned pretty easy and was driving a Honda Civic. And if she was a redhead dude, she's smashing brothers, dog. No cap, bro. There was every girl that drove by with a fucking Honda Civic, dude, that was a little bit thick, bro, and was catching some sun and freckles were showing up on her shoulders, bro.
Oh my God.
She was going over to a brother's house.
I had some good times. I did. I had some good times with my mom, but I had more work. Like my mother, she almost strangled me to death one time. I've been kidnapped. I've been through the gnarliest shit, fucking molested. Wild shit. But and that was my dad's girlfriend. She just kissed me with Skittles in her fucking mouth and I could taste the rainbow.
God, that would make me fucking hard.
Yeah, it was great.
I swear to God, dude, I remember if any woman came even near me when I was a child, I'd get erect.
What is up with that though? That's a real thing. I used to be in 9th grade, like I couldn't get up. They'd be like, could you please write this mathematical equation? And I'm like, I'm fucking doing math like Zach Galifianakis to decrease my boner before you stand up. But yeah,
for me, I think there was I had such a rocky connection with my own mother. Like she didn't show me like a lot of, and I say this a lot, but I don't really go into it. She like didn't show me like a lot of affection. And she like would kind of look at me with judgment all the time. And so I never knew, anytime I got around a woman, it was always like a lot of like real, like uncomfortable energy.
Was this even when you were like a child? Did you feel this way, or was it more in your teenage and later years?
I didn't notice it until I got a little bit. Now I notice it all. It all makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think my mother would just always had a lot of, she never looked at me like just with like adoration. There was always like judgment. And so I think I always interpreted that like with a woman that there's always some type of judgment. So I'm not enough immediately when I show up or even look at a woman. It's like even when I look at a woman's eyes, it was like I'm not enough. So I think that like permeated in me throughout like being young. And so I think it made everything kind of, so then anytime I got close to a woman, everything was uncomfortable because it was like, how can I be this close and I'm okay? Like I'm okay to be here. And it's not like, I'm not being like feeling rejected. It's like, I think it made everything super, just a lot of nerves in that space, you know?
I get it. I've always felt more of a connection with women because I was raised and surrounded by women. So I've had to deal with like, you know, I've had sisters who fucking come home after getting raped or, you know what I mean? Just like the craziest shit. And I don't know. I just always, like, you know, I see my mom, I'm like a little boy. You know, like damn near a toddler, she's getting her fucking brains beat out of her. She's all bloody and the police come and all this shit. And I'm like, oh, don't treat a woman like that. You know, my dad's smoking crack and pawning my fucking PlayStation and shit. Oh, don't treat your child like that. So I saw all these, you know, my brothers running around with guns. Oh, don't do these things. And that's not me shitting on my family. Like, it's just,
right.
It is what it is. You know what I mean? And a lot of my family's really turned their lives around for the most. I mean, motherfuckers are still in the hood and shit, but it's good. And you know, sometimes motherfuckers will be like, hey man, like, how come you don't give your money, your family money? And it's like, one, I have, and then it's gone immediately. It's like, I've done that. And then it's like, oh, I learned my lesson immediately. Cause like you give somebody money, they don't know what to do with it. It's even like, okay, what, I'm gonna buy you a house and then what, I gotta pay your mortgage for the rest of your life, or I gotta this, or I gotta that. So it's like, you can only give, but so much to a person. Cause if somebody gave me $1 million when I was in the hood at 18, I would just be at Taco Bell every day.
Oh,
like I would just be like, I don't know.
Oh, I'd be doing coke, dude. I'd be trying to eat my own ass, dude.
Oh my God.
Dude, you do enough drug, you'll get back there.
True. All right.
It's time to take on the sunshine, but to do it with gear that's built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. That's right. Shady Rays offers a world-class product that's just as good as any expensive pair we've ever worn. But that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost and broken replacements. That's right. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. Exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com and use code Theo for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people. Go to SHADYRAYS, shadyrays.com. And use code Theo for 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. After 3 years away from the octagon, John Bones Jones, the Marrow Madman, is back for UFC 285 with his heavyweight debut. Get in on his title bout against Cyril Gane, and all the action on the fight card with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of UFC. New customers can bet just $5 on a pre-fight money line and get $150 in bonus bets if your fighter wins. All DraftKings customers can join the excitement in the octagon with DraftKings same-game parlays. Combine multiple UFC 285 bets into one for a shot at an even bigger payout. Download the app now. Use code Theo. New customers can bet just $5 on a pre-fight money line and get $150 in bonus bets if your fighter wins. This Saturday at DraftKings Sportsbook with code Theo. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. But it's interesting you say that because, yeah, there's some family members of mine that, like, it's easier to share stuff with or, like, help them get something if they're trying to get it in their life and I can help, like, financially. And then there's some where it's, like, they're not in a space where they're kind of healthy enough in a way where it's like, yeah, you can't – it's tough to – if you give $10,000 to somebody who's struggling with addiction – you might never, they may die.
Yeah, no, you can't do it. Yeah.
So some of that stuff gets a little bit tricky.
My niece, I'm putting her through college right now.
Awesome.
She's one of the ones that like really broke through and she's doing incredible. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Yeah. But how are you able to like compartmentalize that stuff and like not get so attached to it? Because it seems like you're able to like talk about these pretty traumatic times that happen in your life and you don't, but you're able to kind of discuss it in a way that's like
I'm not like oh fuck like yeah. I think
did you go through that or you never really that never really was?
I definitely did, but I was never like I mean, I've shed some tears over like not having a family. You know what I mean? Things like that. But most of the tears I shed were like having my son and like getting married to a beautiful woman that loves me and like giving me the family I never had. And that shit makes me be like, wow. Like I'll look at my son, like this cute little 3-year-old pure soul. And I'm like, damn, I can't believe my parents smacked me around and did, cook crack in front of me. I had drug dealers in the house cooking crack. I'm breathing this shit in. I could never imagine that for my son.
Yeah.
So it makes me really happy. But I think the biggest way, if I'm being quite honest, how I dealt with my upbringing was through music, through writing. You know what I mean? Because like a lot of people are scared of therapy or this or that. I've been in therapy for over 10 years now, and it's helped me a lot, and it's given me a lot of tools to break down and better know myself. But before I sat down with any professional, I had to really look in the mirror and be like, yo, like what matters to you? You know what I mean? What do you want? What don't you want? And that's why even with the raps and shit, like I didn't look at it at hip hop and go, oh yeah, I'm a boats and hoes and bitches, and I didn't see it like that. I saw it as a business, and I say with persistence, determination, realism, and wanting success more than your next breath, you could truly fucking attain anything you want. But a big key is realism. So I wasn't like, oh, I want the $20,000 chain, and I want the I was like, I want to create a brand, and I want to do it in a way that nobody else is really doing it, and that's why my whole motto is peace, love, positivity. It's about being yourself, and also the craziest shit is, bro. Eminem is Eminem, the GOAT. He's the shit. But he's not the first white rapper. There was so many before. Bro, I'm the first black, white, white-looking black guy traversing hip-hop. Like me and J. Cole's genetic makeup, the same. Drake's, the same. You know what I mean? So many people. So I'm like the first of my kind as well, experiencing this. So when I would be talking about things like emotions, and how it's okay to feel this, and people are like, shut the fuck up, like, and I had to like really navigate being comfortable in my skin, and
because I feel like that's not a universe where if you come with feelings in like a rap battle, it's a that's not the sword and shield you want to bring in there. It's changing a little bit though when you see like a lot of these these like ciphers and verses and stuff you see online. I feel like you start to people get a little bit more emo in there. I
guess I don't really give a fuck about that shit. I'm just like, I love music. You know what I mean? Like I used to be about the freestyling and all that shit and like the battles, and it's cool. It's cool. But it's a lot of fuck you, I'm great, and all this, which is systemic. I still rap like that sometimes. Like I'll have braggadocious shit. Like I actually had a line where I said braggadocious flow, I'm vain like an IV. So it's just like little things where it's in us. It's systemic. Why am I wearing this? I'm wearing this because I never had it. My people never had it. So I like it. I got it. What's up? Look at me. In a way, right? It really is. Like, you know what I mean? I like to think I do it a little more, classic. I just try not to be too over the top. But if a motherfucker wants to be over the top, good. He never had it. And if that's what he wants to do. But I would rather sleep in my money. I'd rather sleep in a $5 million house in Malibu. I'd rather
have you a nice home or something.
Yeah,
get you a waffle maker. Get you a damn ottoman, dude. I remember when I got a fucking ottoman, cuz. God damn, bro.
Changes the game. It does.
Dude, when I sat on the couch and then my feet sat on the couch, touchdown, dude. I thought I was going to damn heaven, bro.
It's pretty amazing.
I would have taken my own life right there if I could have. Just to stay comfortable forever.
God, I got a number you could call.
I know, dude. I heard about that, man. Sorry, our conversation's been all over a little bit, but it's cool, bro. I'm trying to.
I like it. It feels like I'm just chilling with a friend. So speaking of which, you went to like 5 fucking colleges. What's up with that? Yeah,
man. I think I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I got into comedy, and comedy was this kind of thing you didn't have to commit to anything. I always had a lot of trouble committing to stuff. And so comedy kind of made it where you didn't have to commit. I think I didn't want to commit to a college. I don't know. I had big like commitment issues. I think out of the gate in the world, I didn't like kind of my environment so much that I was never going to let anything kind of place me or pigeonhole me or even if it was a school, it was like, I want to do my own thing,
I think that's dope. I mean, I feel like also personally, I feel that your 20s, like to like 26, 27, that's the time to just fuck your life up if you're going to do it. Like following a dream.
Yeah.
Like, let it go. Because by the time you're 26, 27, you're like, all right, fuck it. I'll put this tie on and go to this job for the rest of my life.
Chase Bank or
yeah, you know, whatever. But it's like, I feel like
Enterprise Rental.
do whatever whatever your ambition is, do it now. Do it right now while you still can, because you don't want to look back, you know, full of regret.
I say that a lot to people. You could even, and I know this is maybe looked frowned upon or whatever, you could kill somebody. A lot of people are doing 7.
I would say that's frowned upon.
Well, a lot of people are doing 7 years now.
Oh, for a murder?
Yeah. So I'm like, dude, if there's somebody that we really don't need, I mean, ask some other people. Don't just fucking pick somebody in your area.
Yeah.
But, you know, get a small consensus. And look, dog, if you think it's going to help humanity, bro, you only, you know, people are doing 7 years.
Wait a second. How did we just go from following your dreams to murdering people and only getting 7 years?
It's rap music, dude. That's what it is, bro.
Actually, one thing I did want to also ask, because we were talking about emotions and shit. So as a comic, you know, as a fucking genius comedian, which you are, you know, you're so quick, you're witty, you're on your shit. Has there ever been a time where you were like going back and forth with another comedian and they actually, and it's not a 2-part question, but more of a description, and they actually like fucking like legitimately hurt your feelings? Or is it more so like, fuck, I've been bested in this comedic duel? Or both?
That's a good question, man. I think I've been bested in a comedic duel for sure by like guys like, you know, I'll get around like Shane Gillis sometimes, and just who he is makes me laugh. Or if I'm having like a rough day, fuck, one day I went on a new diet where you didn't eat any calories or something for like a week. So I could barely even breathe, you know, like I couldn't even open my eyes that good. And I had to do an episode with this kid, Bryce Mitchell, right? And he seemed like this, like, I thought he was like a wizard, you know, and he's like a UFC guy. Like, he's a very interesting dude. I don't think people would say he's a wizard though. And I like had no energy. So I was like, I felt pretty bested that day. I think sometimes there's times where you get with comedy. I think it's good with podcasting because you can do the conversations again. I would, but I think doing something like rapping, that kind of thing feels really scary because people judge bars of raps and stuff all the time. Yeah. They don't do that with comedy. Nobody's like, oh, dude, Larry had some shit bars over here, you know?
Yeah.
You know, it's like they're not doing that. So they might say when somebody has a couple of good jokes, but that would be scary to me to be like, okay, I'm going to rest on these lines and put them out. Has there been something you put out where you're like, because I put out some specials where I'm like, I know that the recording that night wasn't the best. I know that like after the audio came out, I'm like, these people I was working with didn't capture it the best. I know that I probably could have been in a better position and taken care of myself better the weeks leading up to it. So I was putting out something as good as I could. But with your work, you got to feel like you get a chance to be like, okay, this is it. Is there ever a point where you like started something and by the end you were like, fuck, but I still got to put it out?
No, I would never put out something if I like wasn't behind it. Like if I wasn't behind it, even if it's like some fun shit, or because that was one thing that was really tough to navigate through this last decade, because you know, I'm known as a fucking lyricist, like I rap, you know, but I've also broken out of that box and made pop music. I've made trap music. I've sang, I've done indie records, I've done all types of stuff because that's me. I want to do different shit. You know, it's like you've acted, you have a podcast, you're so much more than just, you know, just a comedian, quote unquote. Like, yeah. You know, and that's how I felt about myself. So the hardest thing was navigating like what other people thought and what other people said, because I did care and because I wanted to be accepted so much. Like it was so obvious and apparent, but that's because I love hip hop and it's a beautiful space. But the thing is I was always accepted by the greats, the people in this, you know, industry, whether it's Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, like so many people that I've come into contact, Q-Tip, you know,
I mean,
RZA.
you've worked with all of them.
Yeah. And they give me my flowers and it's really amazing. But for so long I was so focused on like, well, I want to be accepted by, I don't know, like the Tastemaker or somebody with a fucking podcast. Yeah. It's like, fuck them and their podcast. I rap. Right. And when
or any fucktard in a Honda Accord with fucking loud pipes on that bitch, dude. It's like, fuck, does that guy like me? You know?
No, but that's a real thing, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's a real thing. That would be like, that's the dude. It's like, instead of really, if you know, if the greats are giving you your rewards, but I'm still listening to this motherfucker's driving by and he's listening to Nelly still, I'll be like, fuck, dude, I'm missing somebody.
I'm missing a
You know, I
Band-Aid.
love Nelly, but I'm just saying, yeah, it's like I'm missing something. You know,
No,
it's
I
like,
get it. I think having my son, do you have children? Having my son really totally opened my eyes about how much shit doesn't fucking matter.
Right.
Like my son, this thing that came out of my nuts is healthy and happy. So Joe Schmo talking shit about me, like, who gives a fuck?
Right.
Also, it's like, I'm rich and I'm famous and you're talking about me. Like, good job. Like, bro, you did it. Like, mission accomplished. You met the green lizard alligator at the end of the fucking game. Like, you did it. And so for me, that realization, and this is just in the last few years, because my biggest thing was, I used to be so upset that it hurt when people would say mean things about me, which they do on the internet all the time. I mean, it's crazy shit. I hope your baby dies, your wife's ugly, or da-da-da. And when you see that every day, all these different things, just shit that people spew out, it can fucking affect you. And so I used to be so angry, like, fuck, like, why does this hurt? Why does this hurt? And then I realized it's like, bro, it hurts because you're a human being and you have emotions. And when I stopped being so hard on myself and I was like, bro, it's okay that it hurts. What you're in control of is how long will you let that affect you and how much will you let it affect you. And now if I see some shit, if I subject myself to being on the internet and I see some shit, I just kind of just like, fuck this guy. And that's it. And it's pretty cool, but it used to keep me up. Like,
so what helped you turn there? Because that's really some AA type stuff. It's like, you know, if I sit there and read something about it and I start to feel a certain way, that's normal. That kind of can happen. But if I sit there and continue to feel that way, then I'm doing that to myself at a certain point. I don't realize it. That thing is the instigator, but if I'm sitting there and still thinking about it, then that's a choice that I'm making really at a certain point.
Or still going through it.
Right.
Because I used to.
Isn't that crazy, bro?
I used to go and like, people would be like, oh, you're amazing. I love your comedy. I love your albums. And it's just so much love. I love you. I love you. But then we look and it's like, you fucking suck. And it's like, oh my God. And you look at the guy and you look at him, he's fucking 14, he plays Xbox, he's a cunt. And you're like, they like this whole this thing when like deep down, like, it doesn't matter. Why are we doing this to ourselves? But I think a big part of it is what it means to be human and adaptation. So when you think about like us fucking on like an African plain thousands of years ago.
Oh yeah, like Big Buck Hunter
type shit, type beat. And when we walk out of the brush, like nobody's going, wow, look at these beautiful clouds. Look at this sky. No, you're looking for lions immediately. And so I think that's what we do on like today, fast forward, we're looking for where's the threat? Where's the threat? And now I'm just kind of like, man, I honestly don't know why the fuck I cared so much for so long. You know what I mean?
Well, it would make sense. I feel like you cared if you're looking for, I mean, I feel like especially as children, especially growing up, you're probably looking for adoration. Everybody wants to be seen or accepted.
Yeah.
I don't know. You seem to have adapted pretty well.
Yeah. It's not like it was ever terrible, but there was just times when it was. And the reason I love to discuss things whenever such as this, whenever, you know, we kind of reach the subject for people out there is just like, bro, you're not alone. Like, it's a real thing. Not to sound cliche, but like everybody goes through shit. Everybody, you go on the internet, you get in a fight with some asshole, it could like, it can affect you. And just the sheer amount of shit that we see and process mentally daily, like, I don't think humans are even supposed to be doing that. Like think if it's like 1950, you know, and little Mary Jane, like this bitch didn't have Twitter and just see all this shit with all these girls half naked by fucking 13 being over sexualized. And she's like, well, I need to change myself. And I need all like that shit didn't exist.
Well, that's, you know, I wonder a lot of times I think, you know, and I've jerked off recently, I'm going to be honest with everybody, but I think that a lot of times we've exhausted our sexuality. So like, you know, I feel like you're maybe even through a DNA strand, you're only supposed to see so much cooter and everything over time and ass or whatever.
I actually agree with that.
Oh, so it's crazy that now you're having children, I think, that have no sex because you know, Ronnie, the daddy or whatever, spewed it all out, dude. That's why fucking Ernie is just sitting in the yard fucking licking rocks and scrolling on TikTok because he don't even have anything left in him. You know, it's like, it's weird. Like whenever we created digital media, it's like we burned it all out of us. I think there's a lot of men out there who are gay, not even because they want to be, it's because all the straightness got jerked out of them over time by looking at pornography.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Get
Think
the
about
fuck outta here.
pornography, bro. It goes on a regular.
Bro,
Saying.
if somebody wants to be fucking gay, they're just gay.
Oh, well, some people are, but some
You're
people.
saying some people, their predecessors have just busted so many nuts that they,
or even them.
but there's a difference. Wait, no, but it's like, then what you're talking about is more so celibacy rather than a sexual orientation.
I don't know, man. I think we don't know the long-term effects of some of this pornography. Think about it, dude. Like when you're saying back in the day, you go to maybe the store and you see a woman pick up a melon or something.
For
you
sure.
go jerk off in the truck.
And you think about it.
Oh, that was insane. Every time you fucking see an avocado salad, you fucking gotta hide in the outhouse.
When I was a kid, I used to fucking watch anime, and I'd just be in my head thinking about like this anime bitch with big ass tits, and I'm like 12 years old, and oh yeah, bro, because I didn't have anything. I didn't have fucking porn. I didn't have fucking internet. You know what I'm saying? I was busting nuts to fucking pencil drawings.
Damn, dude.
It was a vibe though. I remember one time I busted so many nuts. The first time I ever busted a nut.
Oh yeah, take us there.
I busted like 13 nuts. I was like 12 years old, and I'm shooting ghost loads.
Daytime or nighttime?
Night, all night. Literally, it was the first time, because you know it's like my dick would get hard, this or that. I'm like 12, bro.
Yeah.
But like,
my neck would get hard when my dick would get hard a lot.
You like Batman?
Well, yeah,
So-
I was like on the Gravitron at the fair or whatever.
Literally, the fucking UFO. Literally, I'd never busted a nut, and then you bust that first nut, and it like opens your mind. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So I jerked off all night, and then my dick was like all fat.
Oh, it hurts. Yeah.
It hurt, and I went to school next day, and it was like I was walking weird. And then I came home, and I was like, man, I talked to my friend. I was like, yo, I think my dick's fucked up. Can you look at it? He's like, what? You want to look at your dick? And I was like, yeah, man, it's all good.
Dude, that's exactly what I'm talking about. You do it so much, you end up in a gay instance.
What can I say? What can I say? But no, it was hilarious. He was like, yeah, your shit's fucked up. You need to chill. So I was like, okay.
He just told you that?
Yeah, he was just like, yeah, that's not normal, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, I remember getting so much ointment, and I would pack it around my wiener because it would I just exhausted its use so much. And I would get like all that Neosporin.
Are you being serious?
Oh, 100%. And I would put it all around it because it would hurt. You know? I mean, Louis C.K. was on here, and we talked about that, about imagine if you had a friend that was your wiener, and you just kept fucking every time he was around, you just kept fucking shaking him around until he spit up all over.
Ew.
And then he did it. And then everybody's like, let him rest, let him rest. And you're like, nah, fucking get him back
Oh
up.
my god. How many nuts have you busted in a day?
Oh, not that many. I'm more of like a,
Like draw it out, edge.
I wouldn't even call it edging. I would just call it very lazy, kind of archaic nuts, you know?
Archaic nuts?
I think maybe 4.
Oh man, I got you beat.
Yeah, good. I can't handle it.
I was just really young.
It bums me out. If I do it a little bit, it bums me out.
You know what I'm over? Porn. I'm so over it.
What's horrible, they used to have, they said this actually, 7 states push to require ID for watching porn online. Louisiana just did this. Wow. And I think this is one of the best things that's ever been done.
For sure.
Because, dude, I really do think, Logic, that this has ruined a lot of relationships. It's like, it used to be a woman was where any fantasy you had was directed towards your spouse, towards your wife. And then now those fantasies are all exhausted. That person can't even compete with the digitality of all this pornography.
Yeah.
What does that article say? I'm sorry, Zach.
Gotta love Zach. I love Zach.
Thanks, bro.
He's good, man. And I've never told him that, so I'm glad. I'm actually glad someone.
No, he's great.
Finally.
He is. After decades of, can we zoom in a little bit? After decades of fretting over minors potentially being overexposed to pornography online, several states are suddenly moving fast in 2023 to attempt to keep kids off porn sites by passing laws requiring age verification.
No, but that's real. I mean, have you ever seen like those funny TikToks or things where it's like literally 8th grade and the band's playing at lunch, and then they'll stop, and then the kid does the Pornhub drum thing as like a joke, and then all the kids laugh because they know? It's fucking deep, man, because like I remember the first time I was exposed to pornography, I was like 5 years old.
No.
Yeah, but it was print. That's how old I am. It was print.
Yeah, same.
It was print magazine, but I just didn't understand. I remember going up to my mother, and once again, she's a huge, I'm not shitting on her here, but I'm just being honest. She's a fucking hypocrite because, you know, I was like, what's sex? I was 5 years old, and I asked her, and she was like, That's sex. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh, she did that.
She did this. She just went like that. And I was like, oh shit. So then I went to my homies. I was like, yo, check it out. I'm having sex right now. And I'm like telling all my friends and shit. They're like, what the fuck? But yeah, I mean, that's not like that bad. Like seeing a little nudie magazine when you're grown.
No,
you're grown up. Like, but now it's fucking deep, man. Like I remember one of the first times I like was on the internet watching porn, like 2006, 2007, where like I didn't even know where to go, and I'm in like Yahoo, like just typing shit, and like some chick's like going down on this guy, and then she like pukes all over his dick, and I'm like scarred, and I'm like, oh my god, like that is some shit people don't need to be exposed.
It's like a Golden Corral.
I know, and now that's my fetish. No, I'm just kidding. But it's like. It's just a weird thing. But
yeah, it's overexposure, man. It's crazy. But the harm it does to us, I think that's the things we don't know. It's like that harm. It used to be you would take all those feelings and you'd put them to every time you saw your spouse, you would fantasize about them.
And if you're open, you're like, hey, what's up? You trying to wear this maid outfit and pretend I, XYZ. Like it's just to have those fantasies, And my wife, she's super open. Her fucking dad's probably watching this right now, so I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But if you know what I mean, but no, she's. My wife, man, she's incredible. You know what I mean? She really satisfies me. And that's another thing when I think like all through my 20s, I was just like jerking off watching porn just because it was just kind of a thing to do. Not a lot, not crazy. Like I never had an addiction, nothing like that. And I've known some dudes who have and have beaten that, which I think is great. But I'm just like, for what? I'm almost like seen it all.
Yeah.
And now I want to just like not anymore. And just focus on my personal sexual relationship with my wife. Not that I'm not or haven't, but just to even more. I think porn has been so normalized in a way, which is not, it's like as an adult, like to each their own, you know what I mean? But I just think this shit about making sure that minors aren't really so exposed to it, I think it is important. Yeah. But also, it's almost like guns, sure, you can have all the gun laws you want, XYZ. I wonder what the comments are looking like right now. Anyway, you could have all these gun laws, whatever, but at the fucking end of the day, bro, if somebody really, really wants to fucking get a gun and kill somebody, they're going to do it.
And they can even make a gun.
3D print a fucking gun. And that's how I feel kind of about like porn, where it's like, if an underage, teenager who's older wants to see that, they're going to find a way to do it. Yeah. But if you make it more difficult, then I think you're exposing less people to something that can essentially traumatize them. You ever heard of that show Euphoria?
I met someone from it one time at a party.
Well, they really talk about, in an incredible way, how porn has just fucked with the youth. Thinking like, yeah, bitch, take this dick. And like all this. And it's like, that's really, I mean, it's a time and place. You know what I'm saying? It's a time and place.
Yeah, there's definitely evening.
Yeah. But, like your first time.
You can't be like that. And then a girl thinks like all this crazy. And then here's the crazy part. You're not even connecting with the other person at all. Now you're almost performing actions that you've seen. So then it's like the human connection, it's totally gone. It's like it's become weird because with porn, you almost start to, and with everything digital, you almost start to impersonate what you've seen. Yeah. So now we've taken art in all forms, and some people consider porn art, and that's fine. We've taken art, we've made art, and now we're watching the art we've made and reenacting the art. It's like we're done.
Yeah, all I know is like my first time having sex, I was like fucking Titanic.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it was like, I love you. Oh my God. Well, also I never experienced true love. Like love, like I don't really believe like I love my mom and my dad, but like not like I love my son, not like I love my wife. You know what I mean?
It sounds like that was a big change to you. Like once you had a family, it kind of, because sometimes you hear that a family will solve a lot of those old like wounds because you suddenly have a thing that it's not about this behind you anymore. It's obviously about in front of you. Yeah. And when you're loving your son, you kind of replenish that thing that you didn't get in a weird way. It's like,
no, not even in a weird way. Wow. That is it.
That is it.
And that's what's so crazy. Like just the fact.
Did you know it was going to be like that? Like were you scared to get into a marriage? Were you scared to have a child? Like those are
Well, I wasn't scared to get in a marriage this time because I got it right the second time.
Oh, you did a first marriage?
Yeah, I did a first marriage.
Wow.
That was hard. And that was just it just wasn't my person. There was no infidelity, no this, no that. It was just, and respectfully, like I won't really get into it because that isn't my story to tell, and that's a story that I would happily tell you, if you over dinner or hanging out or whatever, but publicly it just wasn't my person. It wasn't right. So when I found my wife now, Brittany, it was just like, oh my God. Like she got it. The wildest shit, I felt like Leo. Like I found the bitch when she was 19.
Ooh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm
and
like,
Jerry Leo Lewis, dude. Bring up Jerry Lee Lewis. He was a pedophile, but he was respected.
Shit. What? That's not what what the fuck you talking about?
You're not that, dude. You're a musician. But I'm just saying, he married like a damn 12-year-old.
Oh,
dude.
no, he didn't. Really?
Yeah, Jerry Lee Lewis, boy.
What the fuck?
I mean, that kid is...
Well, that wasn't me. Anyway.
No, you have a great wife.
No, yeah.
Did your wife just do a cameo in your new video?
Yeah, I had a video where she popped in.
I thought that was her, man. I watched. It was cool.
Yeah,
it's fun, bro.
Yeah,
That's a nice anthem.
Thank you. It's been fun just being a dad and being a husband. And that's one thing that I love about getting older, especially in hip hop, because hip hop is such a young genre. It turns 50 this year. And for me, I love talking about being a father. I love talking about aging, because hip hop and pop music in general, it's all about like just young, literally like 17, 18, 19, 20, like all this shit. But it's like, bro, I'm fucking 33, man. You know what I mean? I be getting hemorrhoids and shit. Like I want to talk about like...
Yeah, you're an adult.
I want to talk about real stuff, what it means to invest your money and be smart with things, which your average kid's like, I don't give a fuck. Let's blow the money. Let's go to Vegas, baby.
Yeah.
But it's just like, man, I've done that and I've had that and that's cool. But like, I just love this stage of where I am. And you talk about looking forward, and in many ways I definitely do look forward, but so much of my career, bro, 10 years ago, it was always, I could never be present because I was just like, oh fuck, I'm broke. Like my roaches have fleas. Fuck. Like I have nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I wanted something. And
so once you got a little more comfortable, it made things easier.
Yeah, but I'm still thinking about the future because it's like, and this is when I started to get therapy because you gotta understand, bro. I remember, I did a deal one year. I made $30 million. Wow. I had a biggest panic attack on my basketball court. Flex.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, bro, I was so poor my whole life. EBT, man. I fucking ate cereal with powdered milk, bro. Okay, like I didn't have anything. Like I had nothing. I never had shit. Wow. So then when I finally got it, I like fucking freaked out about it. And then I started going to therapy and I was like, what do I do? What if I lose my money? And the bitch laughed at me. I call her the bitch. She's my therapist. She's amazing. She's Australian. She could be
a down ass bitch
She is
well,
a down
like
ass
bitch.
No, but she's extra down because the bitch is Australian. So she's down under.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so she said, she was like, first of all, you're not going to lose your money. You're not a fucking idiot. She's like, look at you. You're making proper investments. You're taking care of yourself. She said, but if you did, what would you do? And I was like, I'd fucking grind my ass off. And she's like, exactly. You get it back. So number one. And I remember this is at a time when I was like going through a lot mentally. Like a lot, because I had the fucking 1-800 song out, you know what I mean? It's like the biggest thing in the world, and everywhere I go, it's like suicide, and people are like, I tried to kill myself, and my brother tried to kill himself, and my sister killed herself, and just everywhere I'm going, it's like all this shit, and I'm like...
Right, and for people who don't know, there was a song, that anthem that he did that was about suicide prevention and just about kind of loving yourself, a little bit of evolution.
Mental health, yeah.
Yeah, mental health, so go on.
So dealing with all that was like a lot, but for me... Like I had turned down $1 million show in Australia, and I've always wanted to go to Australia. And it was a festival, and I was going to headline the festival, bro. 45 minutes, $1 million. Wow. And I turned it down. And people could be like, "Oh, you're fucking crazy." It's like, bro, I want to put a bullet in my head.
Right.
Like I didn't give a fuck. And then so I remember talking to my therapist and being like, "Oh, people are going to think I'm crazy." And she goes, "What do you value? Do you value getting on a 22-hour flight in your mental state right now?" And going all the way to a country that you've never been, that you want to go to, but this isn't how you want to do it. What do you value? I was like, I value resting and taking a fucking break so I don't off myself. And she said, then do that. And when discussing money and things with her, I remember she goes, listen, you're always stressing about money and you're a millionaire. She goes, I see a few billionaires. You know what they tell me? I say, what? She goes, they say, if only I had another billion. And I'm like, yo. That's deep. I need to let this shit go. I made it. And so around this time, this is like 2018, around this time, and then I fucking grinded for like another 2 years, but I realized, man, I was always looking that like so far, man. Like, you know, when I started rapping, I'm like, okay, I got to put out a mixtape. Okay, I got to get fans. Okay, I got to start touring. Okay, I need a record deal. Get a record deal. Okay, I got to put out an album. Okay, the second album can't flop. The second album does good. Okay, I need to, and then it's like, I got to go gold, and then you go gold. Okay, I got to go platinum, and then you go platinum. And motherfucker, I'm almost 10 times platinum on one fucking song. Like, it's just it never ends. And so once I made it, when my son came out the puss, and I realized, I was like, yo, fuck everything else. I want to be as present as I can be. So like me being here with you today, it's why I did my research. You know what I mean? It's why I'm so happy and honored that you would let me on this show. I can't believe, bro, I've been doing this shit for 10 years and people like you want to sit down with me. It's incredible. So now every single day, of course, I have goals, ambitions, things that I look forward to, but I do the best I can to truly just be like, wow, this is cool. And also, like, I'm not fucking dying of an illness.
Right.
You know, life
right.
is
To have
short.
some gratitude, to look at some of the positives for sure. Do you know how much your subscriptions cost? The other day, I realized I was spending an extra $29.99 a month on a service that I have 2 of. I didn't realize I had 2 of them. It's been going on for 3 years. Man, that broke my heart. Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills all in one place. That's right. Over 80%, dear God, of people have subscriptions they forgot about, like that streaming service you bought to watch just one show on, or that free trial that you never even used. Stop throwing your money away, cancel unwanted subscriptions, and manage your expenses the easy way by going to rocketmoney.com/THEO. That's rocketmoney.com/Theo. rocketmoney.com/Theo. Make sure you're not spending money that you don't have to be. One of the most exciting things about the new year is that you have no idea what adventures are in store for you. You know, just a few weeks ago, I ended up in Paris, France. I didn't expect it, but I did. From new travel experiences to new jobs or picking up new skills, there's no better way to prepare for 2023 than by learning a new language with Babbel. Babbel is the language learning app that sold more than 10 million subscriptions. Thanks to Babbel's addictively fun and easy bite-sized language learning lessons. With Babbel, you need only 10 minutes to complete a lesson, so you can start having real-life conversations in a new language in as little as 3 weeks. That's right. With Babbel, you can choose from 14 different languages, including Spanish, French, and German. Plus, Babbel's speech recognition technology helps you to improve your pronunciation and accent. Right now, get up to 55% off your subscription when you go to babbel.com/Theo. That's BABBEL.com/THEO for up to 55% off your subscription. Babbel, language for life. What was the thing, like, why were you were you able to figure out why you were always looking towards the future? Like what that was, like how that started or anything inside
Probably
of you?
because my present was always horrible growing up.
Yeah.
So it was always like, I can't wait till I'm 18.
I'll get him
out
one
of here.
day.
Yeah. No, I'll get the fuck out of my house. Because my house was a war zone, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said,
so
motherfuckers.
traumatic.
Yeah, cooking crack, cooking da-da-da. So how can you be present? How can I be like, oh yeah, this is so sick. I am so broke.
Right.
Yeah, nobody loves me.
And
Tight.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I was always looking ahead, you know what I mean? And then now I'm like, oh my God, my wife loves me, my son loves me, my fans love me. This is it. I can really soak this moment up. Even right here, I'm not even joking. I'm not trying to sound extra. Bro, this is so fucking cool. I've wanted to do your show for like a long time.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah, man. There's a couple couple shows I have when people that just in general that I want to spend time with. You know, and I'm glad that we could do this. So thank you for having me.
Oh, thanks, man. Was it so with those receptors being weird from growing up, with not being able to like, because your receptors get closed down if people aren't loving you and that sort of thing, right? If things aren't proper, if things aren't comfortable, the receptors, I think, for accepting love and that sort of thing probably get kind of damaged as a child.
Yeah.
Are you able to feel that change once you had your own family? Or has that also been like a work in progress? Because
that was a work in progress because I always was like, one day I'm gonna have a family, and then I had my the family that I do now, and I realized, holy shit, you know, my best friends who were driving me to shows and are my best friends to this day, my producer who made all my beats, like these were my family this whole time. As I met these people, like really blood is like, it's crazy. You think, like even think about this, like I know it sounds so stupid, but my wife's parents, first of all, I hit the jackpot. They're fucking stoners and we smoke joints together. It's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're the best. Anyway, but like they're my family, but we're not related. Like, isn't that weird to think? I mean, I'm not even being funny. I'm just saying like, we don't have the same blood.
Right.
But my son is like, that's my grandparents and that's my mom and that's my dad. Like even the premise of like a mother and a father, like a husband and wife, like obviously, I know this sounds stupid. I'm setting you up. I'm giving you gold, but I'm saying like, they're not related. But like as a child, you look at it, you're like, this is our family. Like it's so weird to process that these two people had a whole life before, fucked different people, all types, but they came together and it's just like, that's my parents, bro. I never had that shit.
Right.
I never had it. So then when I meet my wife and then we have a baby and then I'm like, whoa, like this connection is a real thing. And even the connection that I have like with other members of her family, like they really become my family. And I'm like, whoa, that's weird. Because also, even though I'm very close with a lot of them, there's some that I'm not that close with, but I'm so close with my homies I came up with. So then I'm like, well, what is family? It's a weird thing. And I'm still trying to process it. That's the biggest thing I'm really enjoying about my 30s is the lack of like giving a fuck about external shit and being able to really just like live my life. They say that I feel more comfortable truly in my skin than ever before. Because I'll do videos and I'll be all funny and stupid.
Yeah,
and
I noticed
shit.
you being like kind of just becoming more your a personality, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Than just a music or just seeing
I know what you mean.
the part of your personality that does music.
I'm trying to be Rap Seacrest, motherfucker. Like I want to be like,
I could easily see that.
I want to be hip hop fucking Jimmy Fallon. Like that's what I want. I don't know. And I'll still always make music, but this is it. Like I want to, you know, come back and do this shit. I want to go do other shows. I want you to come fuck with me on my YouTube shit. Like I just want to make people laugh and have fun and educate along the way. Just like you're doing. This is really great, man. For you to be able to crack a incest joke 1 second and then talk about serious mental health. It's like dope, man. You walk this really fine line, which is, you should be proud of yourself.
Oh, thanks,
I'm sucking
man.
this guy's dick right now, but it's true.
Well, I can't help it, but you know, try to be alive and be, you know, do my best to just be myself. It's hard a lot of times. I'm kind of intrigued on what you like, since you were saying if you didn't have a family, and so it takes somebody like that to go through your experience to be able to make. But then you do something, you make music and beats that bring people together, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Because it's so interesting that something that somebody that didn't have something that makes them feel together would then have the propensity, almost like a mirror or an inverse of it, would be able to bring people together. It's really crazy how all that works.
It's the craziest part is like, you know, I'm very known for, you know, like I said, my positive lyrics, like uplifting lyrics, letting people know like it's going to be all right, keep persevering, keep fighting no matter what you're going through. But when I first was writing lyrics like that, it was to me. So because I didn't have anybody there, I didn't have family, I didn't have friends really to articulate and be like, bro, you're okay, like you'll get through. Like when my mom's half naked and all fucking bleeding and the cops are coming and dragging a bitch down the stairs and, you know, just the wildest shit is happening. Nobody was there to say that. So I'm writing these lyrics like, don't worry, whatever you're going through, you'll get through it. You know, don't worry, you know, whatever's troubling your mind in time, you're going to find that it's all like whatever. Like, and I would just get this and it was just released. And then over the years, like, and then once I kind of started popping, and when I say popping, not really, I mean fucking beyond underground, like internet days of Dat Piff and free mixtapes and YouTube and shit, like the beginning of Twitter. And I started to see people be like, man, this song really resonated with me. I was like, what the fuck? And that's another reason why I even created the 1-800 song about suicide prevention, is because so many people were like, bro, your music saved my life. And I'm like, what? And they're like, no, for real. Like, and then I did this tour for my second album where I got a tour bus and literally did a fan tour from California to New York, going to my fans' houses, eating dinner with them and their families, playing them my album early. And so many of them were saying, yo, your music saved my life. And they would go into detail about how and why. And then I was like, whoa, okay, this isn't just, whoa, this is crazy. And then that's when I decided to write the song 1-800, because I was like, if I selfishly was writing these records for me, and then they've affected you people to the point where, what do you mean you people? Anyway, to the point where you feel like I legitimately have affected you, but I wasn't trying. What could happen if I tried? And that's what happened. And then Congress wrote me a letter and was like, it's fucking statistics have proven that your song has saved lives around the world. Which is wild. Yeah, it's crazy shit.
That had to be bizarre. What'd you do with the letter?
I got it. I'm trying to frame it. I want to get it framed like a doctorate. Like, you know, when you become a doctor and it's like on that like thick raised paper. I want that shit.
That's one thing that gets hectic about like when your life gets busy is all the things you want to frame and haven't framed yet. It's like, it's kind of like, I mean, I know it sounds crazy. That's one of the toughest things. There's a pile of about 4 things at home that I want to frame, and one day I will.
I got a lot of pictures too with people. Like, I've been so blessed to meet so many people. And then I'll remember and I'll tell my assistant, I'm like, yo, find that picture of me and Stevie Wonder. Like, for real. Or get to join me and Kobe. Or, hey, can you get the shit of the time I met Chappelle and he bought me a drink? Like, I'll literally just, all these, Sarah Silverman. Like, dude, I'm so lucky to like meet. Hey, bro, we're gonna take a picture after this. I'm framing it. Where the fuck do you think it's going? Yeah, it's going to my house, bro.
Do you so being black and white, that's got to be like the fucking coolest, I feel like. But is it scary sometimes? Like, do you feel black and white, or do you just feel one thing?
Damn, that's a good. I feel like me. I know that sounds cliche. I feel like me, but I do.
Like if you walk past like a barbecue spot, do you feel like part of you comes to the edge of your skin?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like, do you
real
feel
thing.
some cells kind of scoot over to, and if you walk past like a cop, do you feel those same cells like kind of move to the other 100%. Side of your skin?
But the craziest part is like, because here's a fact. Whether you fucking like Logic or not, or whether you're like, whatever, it's like, I don't give a shit. I'm not here to argue, because, you know, there's people who's like, well, you'll never understand what it's like to walk down the street as a black man. And I'm like, yo, all right, why don't you just shut the fuck up? Because you'll never understand what it's like to walk down the street as a black man in a white man's body. And then, wait, let me shut the fuck up. Why are we arguing?
Yeah, you're like Mrs. Doubtfire.
But that's what I'm saying. Why are we... Hello. Why are we arguing in the first place? What you're going through, I'm not denying what you're going through. Fuck all that shit. So for me, it's like, yeah, it's a crazy thing. Like, yeah, and I love it. You know, motherfuckers used to always be like, oh, you talks about this all the time. I'm like, so the fuck what, man? I don't give a fuck. I'm proud. I like it. You know what I mean? You look at motherfucker Twitter bio and their shit be like, black and proud, motherfucker. Yeah. I'm biracial. I'm proud. But I definitely code switch a lot. You familiar with this term? Code switching is like if I was going into like a fucking interview or some shit. I'm like, well, hello there, sir. Yes, I'd really like this job. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, excuse me. I have one call. Nigga, what the fuck, man? You got my shit? You know what I mean? So it's like that. It is a part of you. It is almost like you kind of feel like two different people. But that's one thing in the culture as well. It's like anybody who's of the culture who meets me IRL, not some bullshit. Anybody who fucking really meets me, shakes my hand. They know what's up. Because it's not a thing. Why would it even be a thing? It's not a thing. It's only a thing on the internet.
It's only a thing on the internet.
Like, I've never met anybody and they're like, no, you're not. You're not. They're like, because it's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's like, I definitely love to let people know who I am. So yeah, when I meet somebody, if they're like, tell me about yourself. First thing out of my fucking mouth, black dad, white mom, da-da-da. Grew up broke. It's just, it's my fucking identity. There's no identity crisis. This is who the fuck I am. And I know.
Well, it's a responsibility in a weird way. As you get older, it's like you become this piece of an important time when people are discussing stuff and they want to know what things feel like. And they want to know, like, you know, and some people, they don't know how to relate. Like, I always was envious. I always was envious of black kids growing up. Like, I grew up in like a half and half neighborhood, right? And I was real envious of black kids because, I mean, this may sound crazy, but they at least had an excuse for how people treated them and looked at them in a weird way. And it's not an excuse, but
I understand.
They and then it was like, if you were poor and white, it was like, you just fucked up somehow. It was like, what the fuck? How did you fuck up? You know? Like, you didn't.
That's like the white privilege thing, which I agree with. I think white privilege is
And
a
there's
fucking
always more
real
to
thing.
it.
Exactly.
There's always so much more to it. It's
Of
like you're
course.
just talking in like a specific moment, but I always was like, man, I feel it was because I felt sometimes a similar way that some of my black friends felt.
Yeah, but because you guys you're of the culture, bro. That's what I'm saying. Culture to me, when I say of the culture, I'm not talking about skin color. I'm not talking about none of that shit. It's like I grew up with Salvadorian kids and black kids and white kids and Asian homies, and we were all from the same place. We talked the same, bro. There was white people in our clique, and it'd be like 14 black dudes, 3 white guys, and then my biracial ass, and all the white boys would say nigga. They do. Yeah. That's what they do. They would say it because the black dudes are like, "Hey, say that shit. Say you down." Like that's the internet.
Well, they used to spray paint it on my legs sometimes. I remember
what,
and I was like, "This is fucking
what the fuck?
I don't want it this bad."
But yeah, it's a crazy thing. But that's what I mean of the culture. It's like you understand that plight of like, you know, just well, I mean, did you grow up poor?
Yeah,
yeah. So then growing up broke. And longing for things and one thing, and then having that connection. So it's like, damn, you know, like I never had the PlayStation.
Right.
Like, I mean, I did like later, but I had like when everybody was on like the PS3 and shit, I finally got my PlayStation.
Yeah.
Type shit. So
yeah.
But that's a big thing. I think all this fighting on the internet of what is this or that, because there's no voice. There's no like ambassador of black people. Like, do you know what I mean? Or white people or this or Asian people. Like just because one black dude or white guy or says something, it's like they don't fucking speak for an entire race of people, let alone almost what you could consider like a denomination or just a group of people in a specific place. Because also like racism in America is so different from racism in Europe or this or that or that. Like, you know, people have their different experiences with it in ways that we could never understand.
Yeah, oh, totally. Yeah, I could never understand what it's like to be something different than what I am, you know. Of course. I could try in moments, you know. I think one thing that I envied about black and it was mostly guys that I knew. I didn't know a lot of black girls when I was a kid, but just their origin story. They had like an origin story. You know, it felt like they had like a history and a purpose and like
sounds like we're talking about a fucking Marvel movie. What do you mean?
But that's what it felt like. It was like if I don't know, black. It just felt like they had like they were coming from a place. It was obvious that they were coming like they had to make a comeback in a way.
Oh yeah,
right?
No.
That the deck was stacked against them. That was it.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? Where is this going? Right. Yeah, it's 100%. I mean,
right. So they had like a fucking they had like a thing that everybody knew that was obvious, and it was like I think I always envied that a little bit. It was like
why? Why? Why would you envy?
Because I feel some of these ways, but nobody knows it by looking at me.
I get it, but that's different. But once again, that isn't really so much of a race thing. Like, even though what you're talking about, yeah, that's like fucking 400 years of slavery and oppression and fucking, yeah, 100%. Like, that's some deep shit. But what you're talking about is like the plight of man, bro. Like, you came up with these people in your own way, though. You definitely don't have the same lineage or history that goes into a lot of emotion, confusion, need for education, you know, that black folk have about themselves. And just, you know, whether it would be, you know, someone in Latin culture as well, experiencing their own thing. So, but aren't you, what's your father?
My father's from Nicaragua.
Yeah,
I would get perceived mostly as white.
But I mean, aren't you biracial?
Yeah, but I don't have a dual citizenship.
You don't need a citizenship, motherfucker. DNA. What you talking about? DNA is your citizenship. Like you're.
Yeah.
So you're mixed, technically.
Yeah.
So was your father light skinned?
No, he was dark skinned, kind of.
Welcome to the club. Shit. What the fuck you mean? Dog. But that's what I mean. So but do you perceive yourself as white?
No, people would call us like, my brother's real dark skinned, and people would call us like what do they call? Oh, Puerto Ricans when I was growing up. That was like the big thing that everybody called.
Call y'all Puerto Rican?
Yeah, they didn't have any Mexicans back then, so for some reason people latched on to Puerto Ricans.
That's how I thought about Maryland. There was like no Mexicans, and it was just a bunch of Salvadorians. Yeah. And I was just eating pupusas all the time. They're so fire. But wait.
We had a group called Whites Against Mexicans actually in our town for a little bit, but we didn't have any Mexicans. So it was just like, I think they kind of roughed up this Chinese kid once.
What the fuck? Oh, okay. But, wait a second, hold on. So how do you perceive yourself, or at least how did you growing up? Did you perceive
I
yourself?
see myself as white. Because I think my dad was so old, I was so embarrassed of anything to do with him that I didn't want to know about it or learn about it, you know? I mean, my dad grew up in a village where people would eat dirt. They didn't have anything to eat, and they would eat dirt and get sick and die all the time. I remember him telling me stuff about that. But I didn't care. I think I rejected him so much in a weird way because he was so much older that it was every time he was around, even though I longed to like kind of know him more, I think it was so embarrassing once I kind of became like of age where I knew what my friends, the looks on their faces.
Isn't that so annoying too? Like,
Oh, it's
no, but not
horrible.
even fuck those kids, but just you that you
Right.
were so young. And like, it's almost like imagine, not to.
Right, but if I could be me now,
Exactly.
then, and I would accept
all the, and just talk about all the things that you could learn, but it's all good. You know what I mean? That's life, and that's where you stood, and
Yeah.
you were a kid. You were being normal though. It's not like you were like some piece of shit. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
you know, you were just like, Dad, like, you know what I mean? It was
right. It was normal.
yeah. It was like, Dad, drop me off around the block. Like, don't pull up. So I get that.
They had, what was that? Did you see the thing they had? Zach, if you can pull it up, it was about, they just had some kids that got in trouble. They had a Salvadorian caretaker. Do you know this thing I'm talking about in Miami? The second graders, it was a blackface incident that they had.
What the what?
Yeah. We were talking about this before.
Or what is it, 2-year-olds?
Yeah, so there's a Miami preschool is kind of getting some flack because they put 2-year-olds in like blackface for Black History Month.
What?
As you
At
can-
least they gave them jobs and shit, though. I mean, damn, what if, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yo, you're kidding.
no, but here's what happened. There's a Salvadorian. Can you find the people that run this preschool in Miami are from Argentina, so they don't know the culture here as much.
Oh,
right?
understood.
So this was Black History Month, so they had these kids, and some of the white kids, they wanted them to be able to be black, and so.
And then you got these little innocent little kids that don't know what the fuck is going on.
Well, the crazy thing is they blurred the kid's face out. Like,
oh yeah, like
Jesus.
that's gonna make it different. That makes it look even worse.
I know, it makes it look even worse.
It looks like 8-bit fucking yo. That's wild. Only blackface I've ever really personally experienced is this Rolex I got.
Oh, gang.
This shit is dope. Yeah, it's actually in Japanese kanji too, which is a vibe.
Is that let me see.
It's from Tokyo.
Oh, dang, that's nice, huh? Thank you. And is that stone inside of it?
What you mean?
What's in the inside of it?
Oh, you mean like what is it the black
Yeah.
shit made out of? I don't know. It might be onyx or something. I don't fucking know.
Because this show, the blackface stuff comes from like minstrel shows. They had like, I think it was like 200, 150 years ago. They had like shows where they wouldn't let black performers perform. So they made white people, they had them put black stuff on their face, right? So I think that's where a lot of obviously the origins of people being against it, you know, that it makes people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, but
I just
bro-
wonder if at a certain point, like if it's a 2-year-old kid, what the fuck does he, you know, and it's like,
Yeah, but a 2-year-old kid ain't applying blackface to himself.
right, that's true.
There's an adult doing that. Like, let's just be real. No, you know what I'm saying? What the fuck? First of all,
Yeah, that's true,
Where
dude.
does this kid have access to paint or shoe polish? Like they was doing back in the day, like where, like it's no. This is an adult. Now this specific thing, it's like, oh, okay, it was like a Latin
Yeah, they didn't
situation.
know.
They didn't know. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? But besides that,
Do you think there will ever be a time where it's like, say a kid who loves, you know, Derrick Rose is his favorite athlete. He's an 8-year-old. He can put on makeup if he wants. He can darken up a little bit or urban out a little bit to go out trick-or-treating, you
to
know?
what?
Or he can like,
To urban out.
I mean, he can get like
Urban out.
I mean, I don't know. if
Yo,
they
I'm
have,
about
like,
to urban out right
No, I'm
now.
just saying.
Yo, where's the shoe polish? Let's urban out. What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm just saying, do you think?
No.
Okay.
Of course not. You can't fucking, what the fuck kind of shit is that? You can't do that shit, man. Now, the difference is though, it's like if you're Robert Downey Jr., I think that shit's hilarious. Like if you're a fucking actor, it's a gig, it's a job, it's a bit. You know, you're fucking Chappelle. You're like, what? Like, it's fucking, if this is what you do,
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'm gonna be real, bro. Like comedians, I feel like, I don't even, yep, there it is. There it goes. Now, don't get me wrong. That's the most racist shit ever. But that's why it's fucking hilarious. Let's just be
Right.
real. Anybody who's watched Tropic Thunder, it's like, you got to understand, they're actually making fun of the racism of Hollywood at the time by casting a white guy to play a black guy who's really another guy and a guy with another guy.
Yeah.
Survive. Like, and that's just like, man, when I was 18 years old and I watched that, I was like, this is fucking hilarious.
Right.
But I believe that the shit was done right. It was tasteful. It was this, it was, I mean, even when there's a moment in the movie when he's like, a white character is talking to him as he's in blackface, and he's like, something, you people, and he's like, what do you mean, you people? and then the black homie who's the actor, he's like, what the fuck you mean, you people? That's funny, bro. That's funny. And so, question for you as a comedian, like, where do we draw the line? Because I feel like shit's easing up a bit. And I think with I know we all know where it started. Harvey Weinstein, Me Too movement, cancel culture, like it became this crazy, almost overcorrection. But I'm happy it happened just because like there's a lot of pieces of shit in the industry that were getting away with a lot of stuff. Now there's a big difference between like, oh, I made a little mistake or or whatever, and then just like straight up rape and things like that. So I think it was really good that happened. But then, 100%. It was incredible that these women were given a voice and given power, and taking back power that was essentially stripped from them, which is disgusting. And that's something I've seen the women in my life deal with personally. So I got that. Now, fast forward, a couple years, and then you're just making jokes and shit. Like I saw this one girl, they was trying to cancel this girl in high school. I was watching it, H3, ever? Yeah, it's like
Ethan Klein.
Yeah, Ethan. So like Ethan did this, not bit, but and he did this thing where he's talking about this little white girl who's wearing a kimono prom dress. And then everybody's like, that's cultural appropriation. Like, this girl's not allowed to wear a kimono. She's not Japanese. Like, all this shit, right? And I was just like, God damn, this is fucking crazy. Because I'm wearing a fucking kimono watching this shit. Because I went to Japan. And I'm fucking doing an album in Japan, and I'm like wearing my shit. I think I'm turning Japanese. Like I'm fucking vibing it over there, and I'm supporting the economy. I'm buying. It's a fucking little Japanese woman who's like, have the Dominicado gozaimashita. Have this. Thank you very much. And I'm like, oh, that's dope. Does that mean I'm culturally appropriate? What the fuck? Like I don't know. Now this is a hot take, but I'm just simply saying that's kind of crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like she was like straight traditional, even then though, but it was just like, she was just like wearing a little thing, and they was just trying to destroy this girl. So as a comedian, how do you feel when people be really like, did you see what happened to, Troy Bond? You know who Troy Bond is?
Bring him up, Zach.
Yo, you don't know Troy Bond?
Troy Bond?
Yo, okay, first of all, Troy Bond is the future of comedy.
Is he really?
This kid, quote tweet this motherfucker. He's on TikTok. He's incredible. And if you go to it, you might be able to see it here.
Troy Bond.
If you go to his, keep scrolling down. You should. Fuck.
I feel like I met him before. And he's a gay gentleman.
No, he's not gay. But he does refer to himself as a Puerto Rican lesbian.
Oh.
But he's actually black and white. He made a joke about how he looks like that.
He looks like that killer. Remember?
Who? Jeffrey Dahmer?
Ronnie Rodriguez or whatever.
Oh, the fucking
yeah.
What was that guy? The guy? The fucking, you talking about the dude?
Oh, Zodiac?
No, not the Zodiac. The fucking,
I think it's Ronnie Rodriguez.
How do we go from Troy Bond to Ronnie Rodriguez?
Dude, somebody's got to kill. Bro, I'll tell you this. They
What the fuck? No, that's not. You're thinking
Ramirez.
Ramirez.
Ronnie Ramirez.
You're thinking of Ramirez, the fucking whatever.
Ronnie
killer.
Ramirez, the Zodiac salesman or whatever.
But listen, so I don't know if you have TikTok up there, if you can go to TikTok, or if somebody can try to get you this clip, because I think it's really important that you show it on the show.
All right, let's see it.
And the reason is because, so he's black and white,
Okay.
but I'm gonna be honest, he looks like he could be white or something else, or he's kind of like yourself, like
ambiguous.
Yeah. And so he's doing this this great set.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find it. He's doing this great set,
Uh-huh.
and this girl screams at him, and she's like, "That's so fucking racist," blah 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 blah, and she doesn't even know that he's mixed.
You get a lot of that in clubs these days.
So I'm just like, why the fuck would you go to the club, to a comedy show?
Mm-hmm.
You see the bill, you know pretty much who's going to be there that night, who's got time. I've only ever been to a comedy club once. We'll talk about that in a bit. But what is that like for you?
I think this is what's happened. I don't think you have as much racism in the world as you did 25 years ago. I really don't. I think what you have these days, you have a lot of division that happens from people like online. You have a lot of people that have marketed the past, and it's great to be reminded by the past, undeniably, right? We still have a lot of recovering to do from the past. I think some cultures, even genetically, they have to, it will take time for their DNA to heal from traumas of the past, no doubt. But I think now you get a lot of the past marketed, like packaged into clips, into like movies where you're constantly reminded of like the fucked up things of the past, to the point where some people that just becomes their identity now. So they don't have any real like human connection to it. They just have this sort of like, it's almost like, I don't want to say it's an educational connection, but it's just like, oh, I see this, that's racist. There's no, I don't have any texture to it. There's no like history to it for me. It's just something that I see now online, and I know that that's supposed to be
what's
racist.
also crazy to me is the hit when there is history tied. So for example, I wrote this movie script a couple years ago called Jerry, about a homeless comedian who tells jokes on Venice for $1.
Okay.
And one night he's telling stand-up jokes, all types of jokes. He's telling black jokes, white jokes, gay jokes. It's just being funny. He's being himself.
Okay, Jerry.
And he makes a joke about, I forget it now, but it's something along the lines of like, oh man, could you imagine if like a South Central blood had leukemia? He would be like the illest blood of all time because it's a blood condition. Anyway, it's a lot funnier with the way that I wrote it. And in the crowd,
It took me a second.
yeah, in the crowd, this woman who was laughing hysterically stops and starts heckling the man. And then she's just like, how could you possibly say that? And he doesn't even argue with her. And his manager, Mike, which is the character I'd like to play, is like, dude, why didn't you say anything to that woman? And he goes, you know, a lot of people tend to be hypocrites. She's a white, middle-aged white lady. She wants to laugh at black jokes. She's straight. She wants to laugh at gay jokes. He's like, it's very apparent. It's either her mom, her dad. Somebody died of a blood disease, bro. It was this or that. And it was just really cool because I've taken my own experience when writing that about what triggers people and what I've seen trigger people. And I just think it's really kind of annoying that people like to pick and choose. Don't get me wrong, you know, it's almost like if somebody was to make a Parkinson's joke, you know. I made a joke. I had my
you don't have Parkinson's.
I don't, but I'll tell you something. It's actually wild. So a gentleman named Chewy does all my tattoos. I met him through Travis.
I saw him
Barker.
on your Instagram.
Yeah. And so he asked me to give him a tattoo. So
he did that Metal Gear Solid when it took about 6 or 7 hours.
Exactly.
He
Look
spent
at
his
this
time.
fucking guy. You spent your time. You care. You just looked at it.
That was a cool one, actually. It reminded me of that game, too. Go on.
Thank you. I love that game. So Wu-Tang, I have a Wu-Tang tattoo right here. And he was like, oh, I want you to give me a Wu-Tang tattoo. And this was like 5 years ago. And I'm like, y'all don't want to see that shit. It looks like Michael J. Fox did it. Because it's all squiggly and fucked up.
Bad off.
But I go, don't worry, I can make that joke. It's kind of like saying the N-word. And I was like, because I'm black. And I said, because I have dystonia. So dystonia, I have cervical dystonia. I don't have a cervix. Cervical is it's your neck, and basically my head shakes like this.
Really?
Yeah, it goes like this.
You got that remix in you.
You got that like it's crazy. And so I have to go get Botox injections in my neck.
No.
Yeah, deep in my neck. It's why my neck looks like such a young bad
hurt.
bitch. No, they go deep in there. It's why Botox was invented. And so they go all the way in to weaken the muscle because my muscle. I know, bro. It's fucking crap.
They have to put you down when you do it?
No, I do it every 3 months. I'm supposed to. Like my shit right now.
You're
like
running behind, huh?
Yeah, it's shaking a little bit now.
So
I got to do it. And
you need to get over there.
But what I'm saying is like, bro, people die of Parkinson's disease. You know, Ryan Reynolds' father passed away. Like he had to experience it. So it's like when I make a joke like that, I think it's really it's just how you do it. Like that's a man's pain, bro. You know what I mean? We all love Michael J. Fox. It's fucking It's McFly, man. It's Marty. Like we love Michael J. Fox. Yeah. I love Michael J. Fox. And in no way would I ever try to hurt somebody, this or that. That's honestly my pain. That's like me, like the fact that if I didn't have these shots in me right now, or even my thumbs, my thumbs fucking shake. Like it's these things that are insecure and that give me emotional pain and sometimes physical pain. And in a way, I used comedy in that moment to like cope. and with a man that I can relate to some degree, not to that degree, obviously. And I just think it's kind of crazy that if you're a good comedian, if you're a fucking great comedian, you use pain and you use trauma, such as Chappelle and Pryor and so many great people, to talk about the hard things. And so I think I love Chappelle because no matter what, the motherfuckers got hot takes like I did it. I love great comedians because they will shit on black people, white people, Asian people, straight people, gay people,
Chinese,
every, and they have us all laughing with at each other like it's fun.
It used to be like that, bro.
I mean, it is with cats like you and who step out and they're like, fuck that, and you say what you want. Because like the thing is like, I love Chappelle and I feel like the motherfucker's like damn near uncancelable. I used to think Kanye was uncancelable. I really believed it until Kanye, and I love Kanye, you know, it's just like, yo, he's ill, you know? And it's like, I literally was like, there's nothing. He was wearing White Lives Matter t-shirts. I'm like, there's nothing Kanye West can do. And
he did snorkeling.
He did.
There's pictures of him snorkeling.
He did the two things that you don't do. One of two. He didn't do the two things. He did one of two things that you don't do that could get you canceled. Sex shit that you shouldn't be doing, whether it's underage or this or da.
He did that?
No, he didn't do that.
Oh.
I said one of two, so don't misfucking quote me now.
Okay.
Or fucking be racist. And
but he was racist against Jews. That's what really got him canceled.
No, I know 100%, but I'm still saying.
He tried every other race to be racist against, I feel like.
Yeah, but I'm just,
and it didn't take.
No. I think the one, there is something to be said about, yeah, it's just like, bro, that's a group of people just in general that are fucking, they are killing it in Hollywood. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Like, it's just a real, in a great way. Cool, whatever, fuck it, good for them.
Yeah,
but like, why would you say, not even that, take that shit out of it, right?
Okay.
Bro, you talking about, you know, Hitler was kind of cool.
Right. I think there's something, he got addicted to something about pushing buttons. I think that's what it was.
I agree. I mean, from the hat to all this other shit. And it's like, whatever, man, it's cool. But that was a sad thing. That was like such a hard thing to see because I'm just like, man, that's the one thing, like legitimate, like hate speech, hate this, hate that. It's like, bro, you could have pretty much said anything, but you backed Hitler. Yeah. Like, you can't do that.
Yeah, you can't back Hitler, dude. I mean, even if he, yeah, you cannot do it.
Yeah, it's Hitler.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's Hitler. It's like there's like four guys you can't back: Hitler, Satan, Weinstein.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, definitely that. And
I don't know who else. Maybe that Wile E. Coyote guy. Whichever one's the bad one on that.
I love it.
But yeah, I think that was crazy. But here's one thing that happened with the Kanye thing that also got weird is like, if he's mentally unwell, right? Do you think he's mentally unwell?
Yes.
Right. So at a certain
I don't
point,
think he's crazy.
Right. He may be manic. He may have some different issues.
I think he's bipolar and I think but he's mentally unwell. I don't think he's like fucking crazy. Like, I'm not writing my man off. I love this dude. He's changed my life. Like,
yeah.
I never even met him, you know? So anyway, please. I just want to make that very clear. Like, I'm not hot take just trying to use Kanye's name for fucking TikTok. Like,
I think, I wish Rihanna would have brought him out at halftime. I think that would have been
crazy.
Awesome. Wouldn't it have?
Yeah, but you know, her folks were like,
yeah.
Also, it's just like, is that where he really needs to be right now? On
Probably
stage
not.
in front of the entire world.
Right. But that's exactly goes into my point I was going to make that I was going to bring up is that at what point should the media stop putting some dude out there if they know he's mentally unwell? The same media that has running advertisements for like, people are mentally unwell, get help. And then they're taking somebody, even if that guy's making a clown of himself, right? Mm-hmm. If you know in your heart that part of him is not well, and you continue to publicize him every day, every moment, everything he says, like, that's kind of sick.
It is, but that's our culture. That's what we live in, man. You know, we love to see, I've even had it at a different scale, of course, but like, just my rise. Like, I was the underdog. Everybody wants that fucking underdog to win. And then when they win, it's like, oh, he's killing it. But like, they want you to fall.
Yeah.
They really do.
It's like a movie. It only works like that.
Yeah, and I've fallen, but it's almost like perception. Like, have I really fallen? Like, I've made good investments monetarily.
You have a family.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, but there is a thing where it's like, oh, he's whack now, you know? And it's like, oh, Logic's whack. And then you drop another album and they're like, Logic's back. Yeah. Logic's whack. Logic's back. And then I'm just, and this is where I've finally found this place where I'm like, I give a fuck. Logic's rich and happy. Like, that's all that matters. I could talk to you all day, and I want to
gotta
talk
pee.
to you all day. I gotta pee.
All right, let's pee and we'll come back and do another half hour.
All right.
Oh, man.
Yo, how about pee drips? Oh, fuck. I feel like...
I used to shake it. I don't anymore. I keep it. I just let it go right into the pant.
Nah, man. I gotta shake it a little bit. But yeah.
Yeah,
anyway.
you're right. You're right.
It's just annoying, but whatever. Pee drips. It's like... Anyway.
How much do you sleep? Are you able to sleep fully through the night, or you got to get up and pee?
Well, I get up every night. 100%.
Wow, every night.
Yeah, because I'm hydrated. Like I drink a lot of water. And I used to, I mean, I'm at the tail end of college. Well, I never went to college, but I also,
Then that's the total attitude of somebody who never went to college.
Yeah,
I'm at the tail end of college,
I just
bro.
mean like drinking.
What the fuck? I
Alcohol-
never heard that statement in my life.
Alcohol
Dude,
wise.
33, he's like, I'm at the tail end of college, bro. Like, about time, bro.
Yeah, I never drank really or smoked.
Really?
Yeah, my whole life until I was like 27, 28.
What? So was that because your parents were addicts, you think?
100%. Yeah. Without doubt. Wow. And then, cause I was like, I can't let this fuck me up. Like literally my friends would be like, man, just hit the weed. I actually just released a video yesterday about this. It's like an anime that is kind of a part of a trailer for this album College Park that's dropping. And anyway, so I was just so scared that it would affect that. And then when I made that 30 million, I was like, well, I did it. Let's do coke. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I was like, I did it. Okay, cool. And then I started to enjoy, I don't do anything hard and I don't judge anybody who does, but I do, I love scotch and I love weed. And I just started doing that. And then I did it pretty good. And then like 2020, like through COVID, I was getting fucking wrecked.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing else to do. I had my baby and whatever, but I was like just hungover all the time for like 2 years. I was like perpetually hungover because I never did it. I never did it. I finally did it, but it wasn't like, bro, I actually have a song in this album, and I go, I wake up 7 days a week and get the job done. You know, I'm always there for my wife and my son. But at the end of the day, I love to pour one, more like two, but occasionally three. And it scares me, not because I have a problem. I'm the type of person, if there's an issue, then I'm going to solve them. It's more like seeing how this shit has destroyed life. I look at my mom, I look at my dad, and it's just, it's a crazy thing, man. So I saw that. And I get the job done. I did my thing. But now I'm at the tail end of it. Cause
Right.
I say this to say like my whole sleep schedule's changed. Cause it just as a musician, I used to be up till 5:30 in the morning, wake up at 1 p.m. I was in bed with my wife the other day and it was 2. And I was like, dude, if this was 2 years ago, it'd be 11 p.m. for me right now. It was 2 p.m. in the afternoon. And so, yeah.
When you made the 30 million, what was they bought your catalog?
No, that was a deal that I did. I did a long-term.
A touring deal?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And on top of that, I re-upped with my Def Jam because now I'm independent. But I re-upped with Def Jam and they gave me some nice M's as well. And it was all like within a week of each other.
Oh.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Did you get 1 8 ball even?
No.
Yeah,
I've never done coke.
Really?
I've never done anything hard.
My God, boy, I'll fucking do it for you.
All right.
I will if you need somebody to just tag me in, dude.
So wait, are you sober?
Yeah. I got 10 months right now.
Wow.
So
Is it hard?
What's hard for me is if I think about women sometimes, that's my trigger. It's women, it's affection. That's my trigger. That would make me do drugs. And I don't drink because I'm afraid I would buy cocaine. I don't have a drinking problem. I don't even like drinking. I don't like peeing that much. I don't. It's so dumb.
Oh my God.
I like how it feels
seal.
a little bit because it feels almost kind of like, not homoerotic, but I feel like it's like,
You're wild.
it almost feels like kind of like pervy, like you're making your own weather and it feels like you're touching your wiener at the same time or whatever.
All right.
But I don't think it like, it doesn't, it bores me after a while. It's like, I don't want to be doing this. I would rather do something else that I haven't done before.
Honestly, that's how I feel because I quit. I smoked cigarettes since I was 11 and I smoked cigarettes.
What,
Yeah.
dude?
I smoked cigarettes from
That's
11.
the Baltimore national anthem, isn't it? Smoking fucking cigarettes when you're 11.
Newports at that.
Oh,
Dude, I would smoke
bro.
cigarettes with my
Fucking
mom.
glass lung Bobby over
I would
here,
smoke
dog.
cigarettes with my mother.
Dang,
I remember when I
bro.
was 11 years old and I was like, I'll never forget this. I was watching Fresh Prince and I'm sitting on the carpet, it's dusty ass carpet. There's 2 roaches fucking each other.
Oh,
my mom's in the kitchen making, bologna and shit. And I'm like, Mom, I got to tell you something. She's like, what? And I'm like, you're not going to like it. And she's like, oh my God, did you get someone pregnant? And I'm shooting ghost loads. I'm 11. It's like, no.
Oh,
And I'm like, no. And she's like, are you in trouble with the police? And I was like, no. She was like, are you doing drugs? I'm like, no. And she's like, oh my God.
What's next?
Are you smoking cigarettes? and I'm like, bitch, you smoke. What the fuck? So she's like, yeah. And then a week later, like, and what she didn't know, and I told her this, I was like, bitch, for like the last like year, as we've been walking to the bus stop, you flick your shit and I just grab
it.
And
Oh,
smoke
that's
it.
hilarious.
Yeah, and then we would smoke together. Anyway, so I did that from.
What a great scene in a movie or something. You're seeing a young kid walk. His mom, she's not even paying attention to him. She's in her own world. She flicks a cigarette. He fucking grabs it. He just continues talking
I should
to
put
her.
that in something. Yeah, so I smoked till I was 25, and then I quit for 3 years.
Like a secondhand son, you know?
Secondhand.
And
then I quit last year because I then did the vapes.
you were smoking real cigarette when you got into vapes, huh?
I got into vapes. So I quit at 25 for 3 years, and then at 28 I got into vapes because of my buddy Schwei, fucking asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And then last year I went on tour with Wiz Khalifa, and I was like, I can't fucking be smoking. I got to stop. So I did it cold turkey, and bro, I was like sweating bullets.
Yeah, it's so
and
hard.
fucking like jolting out of bed, like jolting out of sleep. It was crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like destroyed my anxiety. Like all that nicotine, I didn't realize how much anxiety it was giving me. That, and then on top of fucking being hungover. And then so once I just really kicked back on the alcohol, stopped the nicotine, and just smoked a hell of a lot more weed, I just feel great. I fucking ran 2 miles today before I got here.
Nice, dude.
And I just been,
I did some yoga before I came today.
Vibe. I need to stretch.
But I do think that, that nicotine's so bad, brother. The hardest thing I've been having to do is quit vaping.
This is why I brought this up, was because you were talking about if you get drunk, you might want to do an 8-ball or something like that, because it's like, that those inhibitions kind of go out and you're like, fuck it, let's go. That's how I feel. Bro, I was in the studio last night and I was like, man, I kind of want a cigarette. Like my friends are smoking cigarettes and everybody's vaping. My fucking new assistant, Jaden, he's just like,
he's vaping?
He's fucking vaping and shit.
God,
I'm like, what the
fired.
No. But I'm like, what the fuck? And I stayed strong.
Yeah.
Because I remember the feeling of like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like this shit sucks. Where you just, whether it's cigarettes or vaping, and you just do it and do it and do it, and then it's really just like, ugh, like I'm not getting that hit anymore, that thing.
I'm just doing, it's almost like I'm a fucking robot or something. The saddest thing for me to think about is when I leave here today, what choice am I going to make? Am I going to get in my car and stop at the vape shop? They don't even sell the ones I like anymore. So now I'm down to doing some like third string vape, some fucking, it's like, this vape would never start for any team, and am I going to go buy that, and get like muffin ice or some fucking shit?
I'd almost rather smoke a cigarette.
Yeah. Cause I'm going to hit it 2 times and all I'm going to do is I'm going to feel so bad about myself.
How about when the juice is just like, you ever get the juice where it's like in your mouth and shit and it's gross?
Yeah.
Did you ever Juul?
No, I don't Juul.
Oh, that was my shit. I used to fucking just fucking Juul that shit. Yeah.
Juuling's gross.
No, Juuling was just fucking like crack, man. So good.
But
I'm glad I stopped.
Crack.
I never smoked crack.
You didn't?
Well, I mean, I'm a crack baby.
Was one of your parents on crack when you were conceived, you think?
Yeah, I told you that. They met at a crack house, Theo.
Fuck yeah.
That's
cool, dude.
That's so cool, man.
I met a girl at a Subway once, but not the same, but we both had a fucking little bit of sandwich in us and she gave me a beej.
Yeah, right.
What about did you ever see any crack around the house or no?
Yeah, of course, bro.
Really?
Yeah, my one of my
wow.
Yeah, my sister's my sister's boyfriend at the time showed me how to cook crack in the house.
What do you do? Like, how do you make a good crack?
I'm gonna be honest, bro. This was like 10 years ago. It was one time. He just had this shit on the stove. He had the actual, he had the Coke, and then he fucking mixed it with some shit and some fucking baking powder and put it on the thing. He was like, okay, now grab the fucking, it was like in a jar, in a mason jar. He's like, okay, grab that shit. And he like gave me these like mittens, and I put the mittens on. He's like, now pour it and do all this fucking shit. And meanwhile, we're not wearing masks or anything. And this fucking shit.
You're not wearing a mask. You're in a crack house, dude. Jesus.
And
this isn't MIT, bro.
Yeah. And then it's like billowing upstairs through the vents where there's like little children sleeping.
Yeah, I'd be up there sleeping with them.
Yeah.
Not with them, but
oh shit.
I'd be in a crib up there for sure, dude.
Chill, bro.
God, that's got to be nice. I never got to smoke crack, man. I always wanted to. Isn't that crazy? I always wanted.
What do you mean you never got to? You sound like me talking about the Grammys. Like I got nominated, I went there, I fucking lost to Bruno Mars. I never did it, but I like really wanted it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? What?
I feel like that would, yeah, I would, you know, you always just imagine the fucking flame hitting around that rock and you being on the receiving end of it.
It's like Leo in fucking Wolf of Wall Street. You ever see that? He's like, yo, smoke this crack with me. He's like, all right, fuck it. And they do it. That's what it's like. Bro, I've seen my dad. I remember when my dad was 18, and now he claims that since then he hasn't smoked crack.
Okay.
But I know he's definitely had some good years where he was clean, is clean. I don't fucking know, whatever. I still got to text this motherfucker back. I got him on red. This nigga mad.
Is it weird not to communicate with him much?
Let's see what the last thing he said. Is it? I mean, yeah.
Do you really feel like a connection to him, or do you have to create a connection with him?
Whoa. This motherfucker just sent me the craziest picture of my.
That's y'all's family?
I think so. He sent this to me with no fucking context. Yeah, that's. Whoa. What the fuck? Anyway, oh my God.
Is he your grandfather?
No, I think that's my fucking dad right there. That really light-skinned motherfucker, light-skinned looking motherfucker right there.
At the top,
Yeah,
on the
all
left?
washed out with the afro. Let me see that shit.
Dang, dude.
What the fuck?
That guy looks like a wolf on the bottom. Right.
He does.
Wow,
Yeah, whoa.
dude, that's crazy.
I'm gonna text him right now and be like, "What the fuck picture is this?
Yeah, who
What
is this?
picture?"
It looks like the Jackson 7.
Yeah. So
That's crazy, dude. I wish half my family was fucking black, dog.
it's dope. It's a vibe. I really love it.
Yeah, because it would seem like, man, let's see what's
culturally.
going on in here. Yeah.
Culturally, it's really cool, man. It's like I love being black. I'm gonna be real. And
Dude, I remember we'd go to black funerals, dog. God. It was just fucking
should be
crazy.
jumping.
Oh.
It sucks and it's hard, and afterward, everybody's turning the
I'd
fuck
be
up.
hugging some big black. I don't even fucking know her brother's crying into her tits.
Oh my God. Wait, what black funeral were you at?
Just when I was growing up, a lot of people would die in our area and they were black. And so we go to the funerals and it was just sad, you know, like some kid shot himself in the head.
Oh, that's deep. I hope it was, I'm assuming closed casket.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure it was. I don't think at that age I went up there.
That'd have been wild.
But this other kid died on the playing basketball. What else? People were dying in our area a decent amount.
Question.
Yeah. One kid got bit by a bat, I remember, and got some type of encephalitis.
You're fucking joking.
I swear to God.
A kid got bit by a bat?
Oh, yeah. Look up a bat disease. What is it?
What is this, COVID? 20?
No, this was old school.
COVID-20.
This was bat to human direct. This wasn't this fucking
Okay.
roundabout through CNN
What is this?
shit.
Rabies can spread. Okay, what? So he died of rabies?
Bats after minor
Looks like
seemingly.
it's rabies.
Yeah.
How
Or
the
whatever
fuck-
they call
But
it.
how did he not go get checked? Oh, y'all are in the hood, right?
Well, nobody was getting checked. They didn't have they weren't getting checked then. There weren't, yeah. People would pray over him and somebody would,
Oh my God, don't get me fucking started on that shit. My mom, she was so like insane religious, like she's so hypocritical. She's like, don't you take the Lord's name in vain, God damn it, motherfucker. Like that's my mom, bro. It's
That's awesome,
like
dude. Yeah.
I love your reactions. But yeah, no, it was a weird thing to say.
Do you miss the anarchy of that kind of stuff?
Of course not. No, I'm not fucking sick. Like sick people miss that shit. And I was, and I had to
It's
break
true.
that cycle.
Mm.
Like, bro, there's times when my phone, my phone's in another room and I'm just sitting somewhere and I'm alone. Like I'm talking to my wife, I'm hanging with my baby, I'm on a call, I'm on this, I'm on that, and then everything stops and I'm like, because and I have to tell myself, I grew up in such chaos that I find peace boring.
Mm.
That's fucked up. Like that's deep. And I had to learn that. So when I think about like women I would date and there would be like drama and she's like, what the fuck? You don't know me? Like, what are you talking about? Like, all this shit. And I'm like, yes, bitch. Like I'm so used to that because my mom, like, man, I remember my mom threw this fucking crazy ass, like, it was like a metal container for pens and it sliced my stepdad's fucking skull open and his brains and it was like the craziest shit. And then she got locked up and then I was living with him, but he wouldn't let me leave and it was like the craziest shit. And then, oh man, he had like Desert Eagles. He'd be shooting at the cops and he fucking would take me on his Harley Davidson. It's the craziest shit. But between that and like fights and arguments, I mean, we had these fucking weirdos that were like the Manson family that like stayed with us and then they ended up killing their baby. Ooh. And it was just like the wildest shit. So as I got older, when I'm meeting like hey, my name's Samantha. My parents are in law. And I'm like, bitch, you too boring for me. I need some.
Yeah.
I need you to stab me, bitch. Beat me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Get
that's
a fucking sword out of your car.
yeah. Like, that's what I felt I needed. And then I had to break that cycle and realize, like, no, like, that's just because that's how you grew up. But most people don't realize that. Like, my sister, well, I won't say which one. She gonna be mad as fuck. I'm talking to my sister one day, and she's like, yeah, Bob, I'm seeing this guy. I think he's the one. I'm like, oh, word, for real? You know, she got like a bunch of kids, all different baby daddies. And I'm like, okay. So he's the one? She's like, yeah, he treats me so good. I love him, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, that's dope. How'd y'all meet? And she's like, well, actually, I've known him since I was like 15, da, da, da. I'm like, damn, man, he sounds like a good dude. He's treating you good? She's like, yeah. I'm like, what does he do? She's like, what? I'm like, what does he do for a living? What does he do? Oh, you know, he's... Bitch, what? Speak up. What does he do? She's like, oh, you know, he's just in life for prison for murder. I'm like, bitch, what? Like, for real, bro. For real. I'm like, wait, hold up. You found the one? She's like, yeah, we're going to get married. He treats me so good. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go to Starbucks, man. Why don't you get you a good man? And you know what she says to me? She goes, I just love thug niggas.
Damn, bro.
And I'm like, girl, I love you with all my heart, but you gotta figure this shit out.
Dang,
am I right?
Bruh.
And I'm like, damn, that's so deep. And she but yeah, it's crazy. I love her though. She's
Sometimes you want to love something that can't love you, you know? If it's I think if sometimes thugs, no matter what, no matter who they are, I wonder if they have a tough time loving people, you know? Like, I wonder if that's what she means by that.
Yeah, but also women will be like...
Yeah, they want to murder her, bro. I'm telling you, women want to be fucking murdered, dog. And any woman that says she don't, man, I think she's on one, bro.
I just never understand.
They love all the murder shows, you know? Oh, look at Tiffany got hacked up, and they'll be texting their friend, that bitch, you know? Like, damn, bro. Fucking R.I.P., dog. Tiffany ain't even cold, and y'all fucking jealous. Oh, my God. Because her husband fucking worked for Cutco or whatever.
Oh, my God.
But it's crazy. People, they want that. They want a commitment from man, even if it's fucking...
Yeah, but they also want to like, why bitches be wanting to change a man? Can we just talk about that? A bitch want to change a man, and she do it. Yeah. You know, he'd be like, whatever, and she's like, she could take a motherfucker and just change this about him. And she's like, if you want to be with me, you got to change this other thing too. And he's like, all right, girl. And he's trying to better himself. And she's like, all right, you're going to have to change that too. And then a year goes by, he's a fucking brand new man, and she's like, it's over. He's like, what, bitch? She's like, you changed.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
No.
She's like, why you got a top hat on? You're like,
looking like Mr. Peanut.
Yeah, you fucking bought it from me.
Oh, man. Anyway. Yeah.
How did you know when you met your wife that was it, man? Was that hard? Was that a weird thing?
It was definitely hard. You know what I'm saying? My shit was...
Because I'm sure you was easy to date.
Oh, I thought we was talking about my dick.
Oh. No.
Anyway. Truth be told,
how did you know like this is the one?
I found my wife. I walked in to a store 3 days after I got separated from my previous wife, and I saw this girl, and I thought she was like 24 or something. I was 28 at the time. She was 19. I didn't know this.
That's all right.
And yeah, and we had she worked at a smoothie shop.
Oh God, I fucking love that,
bro.
boy.
And she was grinding. She's busting her ass. She's in college. She's doing all this other shit. And yeah, man, she was really just super duper sweet. And I went back to the same smoothie shop every day for 2 weeks, and she wasn't there.
Oh.
And I was like writing music about her like a fucking creep. And I was like, I just like was so inspired. Like, I don't know. She was just so beautiful. She was breathtaking. So I go back every day in the morning and in the night in case which shift, I don't know. And then I go and I'm like befriending like and there's a bunch of bad bitches that work there, and they all think I'm coming to see them. And I'm like,
crazy,
I'm not coming to see y'all hoes, like for real. And then like, yo, it's crazy. Like, and I remember the manager was this gay dude, and he was leaving.
Oh,
and
now
so
he trying to smash too.
No, but I bought him some chocolates because he was leaving.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I was just like, I'm gonna be the nicest motherfucker. I mean, I am a nice guy, but I was like, I'm gonna be extra. So she's hearing about me, and she was, and everybody thought I was there to see like a different bitch, but like she didn't know. And then if she finally, bro, 2 weeks go by, and I was like, all right, I'm giving up. I go there the one night and she wasn't there, and I was like, I gotta take a piss. So I go take a piss. I walk out and I go to pay for my shit, and I just hear, "Hey, Bobby," and I turn around and it was this fucking angel. And I was like, oh my God, this is it. And my heart was just beating out of my chest, like, bro,
Yeah.
like fucking crazy. For real. And it's like, man, I'd gone through a lot, man. And I'm getting publicly divorced and just all this crazy shit. And it's just so difficult. And here's this like angel. And so I'm talking to her and she's so fucking
Did you have
cool.
a visor on?
A what?
Like a smooth, like some of a smoothie place that make
Did
you wear
she?
that visor. Yeah.
Fuck no. She was looking bad as shit. Had her hair all parted.
yeah.
She wasn't looking stupid.
Oh yeah.
And then she's in fucking leggings and just, and I was like, oh my God, I'm talking to her. And then she's just so sweet. And she's just talking to me. And I'm telling her about things I have going on. She's like, that's so cool. You know, sometimes me and my boyfriend.
No.
And I was like,
what?
fuck, bro.
This sounds like a piece of shit.
Yo, literally, I was like, yo, this fucking sucks, man. What the fuck? You got a boyfriend? But I didn't say it like that. I was like, no way. That's so tight. Like, what's his name?
Yeah, what's his name,
What's his
bro?
fucking name, bitch? You better tell me his fucking name right now. Like,
And
that's
you
how I
can't
thought.
even hear his name.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a whole thing. So she says this shit, and then so then I come back. I come back like a couple days later, and I see her again,
And what happened?
and I was just like, I was just talking to her. I was like telling her about all these cool new things happening in my life.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I was just like, man, like we should be friends. And she's like,
She's like, we are friends.
No. She was like, yeah, for sure. And I had this whole, you don't understand, like I'm not joking. I like rehearsed for 48 hours, the whole conversation, how it was going to go, how I was going to get her number,
Oh my god.
and then play the long waiting game because she was worth it. You know, like I was like, okay, we're going to wait. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I had this whole thing and I was like, we should be friends. And then I start to do my spiel. She's like, yeah, I could just give you my number. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even have to do, I didn't have to do anything. So I'm like, okay, cool. So I get her number.
And when did you text her, dude?
I fucking texted her that night.
What?
I don't give a fuck.
Dude, you're gonna fuck it
No,
up.
I put my dick on the table, bro. I'm not scared of shit. You be you 100%, and they're either gonna accept you and love you for who you are, or they're fucking not.
They're
And
not.
and that's what I'm saying. No, it's a real. I mean, they're not for you. Maybe I
Yeah.
have. You got to be yourself, bro. Like be you in a fucking relationship. That's why it's so bullshit when two people get together on a fucking date and they're not. They're lying. They're being them best. Like I'll be on a first date. I'll be like, damn, bitch,
Yeah.
I just ripped ass in the bathroom.
Wow.
I'm like, that's who I am. I was like, me and my wife on our first date, I was like, I'm not in a weird way. I was just like, do you want children one day?
Mm.
She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, dope. Do you see yourself getting married? Da da da. I'm like, what's up? You super religious? She's like, no, I believe in something like an energy or something,
Yeah,
universe.
yeah.
I'm like, okay, cool. I asked those important questions because most people don't. And then 5 years fucking later, they're getting divorced because they never talked about them in the first place.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get her
And
number.
wife's fucking rubbing a gemstone on her vulva. But yeah, they get weird like that. So, dude, so you knew, and how long after that did you get engaged?
Well, the crazy thing is, super duper long story short, I created this like fake release party for a mixtape called Bobby Tarantino 2 that just so happened to be on St. Patrick's Day, but it was really basically The Great Gatsby. Are you familiar with The Great Gatsby?
Yeah.
So I created this whole party just to invite this bitch.
Westig.
Yeah,
Yep.
with all her friends. And then she ends up bringing her boyfriend.
No.
Yeah, it was crazy. So she brings her boyfriend, and the dude comes in, and he's like, "Oh, Logic, can I have a picture with you?" And immediately I was
No
like,
way. He's
I was
Swedish?
like, "Is that Swedish? Did I just do Sweden?"
I think so.
No, Sweden's like this, yeah.
Oh,
Or is that
yeah.
more German? I don't know. Whatever. I'm not good with
you.
fucking. Like if I do an Irish, I sound
Count Dracula.
when I do Irish, sound kind of Jamaican at the same time when I do Irishman.
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking whatever, bro.
Love it.
Long story short, she didn't stay with that guy.
Wow.
Because they
But
were
how
in
long
like
did it take? And were you low key flirting with her, or what was happening?
I flirted with her, but she never flirted back.
Wow. So
That was-
that was beautiful.
Yeah, because I was like, bitch, I want to take you on a private helicopter to San Diego and shit. Like at the party, yeah, I'm like playing, I'm playing pool.
murderer?
I was like, no, I'm not like, what you mean murder? That's gangster.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
right, my
What
bad,
you talking
dude.
about? I wasn't like, yo, you want to go see my fucking rat head collection? What the fuck? What you mean murderer? Hey, bitch, you want to go on a private jet? What the fuck?
You're right. My bad. My bad.
All right, anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I was definitely flirting with her a little bit, but I was respectful. I wasn't like, fuck this dweeb. Like, it wasn't like
Right,
that.
right.
And then she just like,
That happened.
she just saw a man. I'm gonna be real. She
Oh,
was
yeah.
she was dating a boy. They fucking went to high school together and shit. And then she saw a man and was like, what's good? And it's a real thing. It's like, whatever. 8 months later, we were engaged. I knocked her up in like May. We were in Tokyo
Oh yeah.
when I bought that cultural appropriation kimono.
Mhm.
And I knocked her up. We had a really bad fight, And then, yeah, it was like so bad. It was like the worst fight we've ever really had. And then I shut that shit down. I was like, this is fucking stupid. We don't need to be doing this shit. We need to respect each other. And if we feel, don't let animosity build. Don't this, don't that. But I told her the real thing is she was pissed off because we were at some fucking club in Japan. Everybody's wasted. And the woman who let us through the door, I was just like, oh, there's a pretty dress. Because I'm a gentleman. Like if I see a woman, and that's just from being raised around women, like, oh, nice earrings. Like, and my wife knows me. She gets it. Like,
But you don't think you'd low-key do it for some sort of a return
no,
from
never,
them?
no.
Yeah,
Especially
okay.
with women. Because for me, women doesn't matter. Like she could be bad. She could be not what you would call, a bad bitch. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Or whatever. Just a normal looking, whatever the fuck.
Right.
I don't know.
Librarian.
Let's keep it 100. The bitch could be ugly or she could be fucking a supermodel.
Okay.
And I will be like, oh, I love your shoes. Or I'll be like, oh,
Right,
damn.
right, yeah.
I'll be like,
Like your hat, like
yeah,
your
your nails.
shoulders.
Are they gel? Is it gel? Is it acrylic?
Right.
Like, I don't give a shit. I just like
your
there's-
arms.
Yeah, whatever. Anyway, so she just got mad that I said the bitch had a nice dress.
Oh, yeah. Women will get upset about that.
And
kind
I
of
was
stuff.
like, don't you ever bring that shit to me ever fucking again. Because I was like, I would never fucking do that to you. I don't give a fuck. Like, this is not, whatever. And it was so stupid. And then we argued and I knocked her up.
yeah.
And then we got married a
I'll
couple
show
months later.
you, huh?
Yeah, I fucking showed her.
Dude, if I'm arguing with somebody, you got to fucking knock them up. That's how most of us got in the world when you think about that.
Yeah, I mean, look at my parents.
Oh, yeah.
They were high and on crack and angry and screaming. So you want kids?
Well, they made a good creation, man.
Do you want children?
I do want some children, and I start to get to the point where it's like, yeah, I definitely want to have some children. But also you can't hurry love, man. You got, I like this girl and it didn't work out. And then I was in this other relationship and I couldn't commit. And so I just gotta.
What if you got like the female equivalent of a sperm donor?
What is it?
I don't fucking know. A surrogate or some chick you could just knock up and be like, here, take my sperm. And you select. Because women, they do this. They'll select. They'll be like, okay, he's got to be chocolate, 6'8", fucking NBA player, da-da-da, this, that, whatever. And you can like pick what you want. And then that woman could have a child herself. So you could do the same thing. You just get like some super bad, gorgeous woman.
And what do you have to do? Do you do sex with them or do you have to drive over there?
Definitely not. It's a little more professional than that. You know what I mean? You're not, that would be like the most expensive, craziest escort of all time. Where
Yeah.
it's like
It's like $100,000, I think, to do something like that.
to do what?
To get somebody to have your child that you don't know.
Really?
In America, yeah.
Wow.
It's like 80 in Mexico, I think.
I wouldn't.
But you got to go down there. That's going to cost you a couple G.
I wouldn't sweat it because like you still have like 30 years on when your dad made you.
It's a good call.
So you got time. You know what I mean? Like you got it. You're
Well, my dad was 38 when my mother was born.
yeah, but it's just
It was different times, though.
not even that it was different
Yeah,
times.
that's true.
It's just like, bro, who gives a shit? Wasn't somebody they were upset with Billie Eilish and the guy from The Neighborhood? I don't know if you heard about this. So
Yeah.
Billie Eilish, she's younger.
They were like 12 years difference.
Yeah, but so what? She's fucking of age. She can make her own decisions, and we don't know what the fuck. We're not on their text message that they could be fucking in love and happy.
Yeah.
Who are we to say? Now it'd be different if like she was 17 or he was like, I can't wait to knock the socks off that.
Yeah.
Tight. That'd be a little weird.
He's like, let me get that kitty cooter.
Oh no, don't say that.
If he's texting that kind of shit, then you got to go to jail.
Oh my God.
Will you guys have any more children, do you think? Or what do you
My
think?
wife is currently pregnant with our
Oh, you
yeah.
got back in there?
Yeah, with my second son.
What?
We're gonna name him Leo.
Really?
Yeah, we're gonna name him Leo because my best friend. So here's actually super quick. The first thing I ever said to my wife was nice tattoo. And she had a tattoo here that spelled Noel with 2 L's. And she says, oh, it's in my grandmother's handwriting. It's her middle name. And I was like, holy shit. And both sets of her grandparents are in their high 80s, living alone, killing it. Probably still fucking. It's like they're killing it. Yeah, they're amazing. And so I actually got her mother's middle name, Grace, tattooed on me in her grandmother's name, which is really cool. But I say this to say that since her middle name is her grandmother's name, she wanted the second boy's middle name to be her father's middle name.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Kurt David is my father-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
So our boy's name will be Leon David Hall. But Leon David is my best friend's name. Leon David Rusalem, who fucking let me sleep in his basement when I was homeless, didn't have anywhere to go. Wow. And almost a year to the day, I signed a Def Jam and we all moved to LA. So I named him after my best friend, Leon David. And it's cool because he's after my best friend, who also has the same middle name as my father-in-law. And yeah, we call him Leo.
It's a perfect circle. Liam?
Leo.
Leo is a good name.
Yeah, I like it. Lady killer Leo, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, he's got to probably be handsome. I mean, you seem pretty handsome, and your wife looks attractive. That I saw her online.
I seem handsome? Am I handsome or do I seem handsome?
I think you seem handsome. As far as I'm gonna go, dude. You know?
I think you're handsome.
Unless times get tough. Yeah,
You're a handsome guy.
All
and
right.
you got great skin.
You're handsome. Thanks, dude.
You got great skin.
Yeah, I'm just getting older though. That's the only thing, you know.
But look at you. What the fuck are you talking about? You got great skin. You got a head
Time
of
comes
hair.
and gets you.
Look at your hair. Look at you. What are you
Pretty bad.
talking about? You look good. You look great.
Oh, dude, I look like a homeless stuffed in a non-homeless guy. One thing that's interesting about you, I think I love what you're doing, man. I love the fact that you're kind of like, you're not pivoting from music, but you're adding to your ability to perform with also people seeing more of your personality.
100%.
Which I think is interesting, you know, especially coming from your own life and all the experiences you've had. I think some people, they only have what their music is, but you, there's so much, I mean, there's a lot to fucking unpack there. I mean, there's so many sentences you said during this chat that I could be like, well, what about this? What about this? So I think there's going to be a lot of like, just breadth of like, not only knowledge, but just like sharing of experiences that you've had or being able to relate to people. It's probably going to be a big part of your future, you know? So I think it's cool, man, that people are getting to know you more and that you're allowing that to happen, because I think, there's probably a need for that in the world, you know, because a lot of people don't have the experience that you've had, you know?
Yeah, man. I kind of see this as the second chapter of my career, you know, or second act, if you will, of my career. And yeah, the music is so therapeutic. I'll always do it. I love it. It's like, it's so easy for me to do it. You know, I was on vacation a couple weeks ago and I made 37 beats in a day.
Damn.
On vacation. I woke up, was just in bed, and then played with my son and then put him down for a nap and finished my 37 for the day. Like, I don't know. I just love it and it's amazing. But this shit, I live on this. Because like, I used to really be so jealous of comedians. Because I'm like, these fucking assholes, especially the greats.
Oh, yeah.
They go out on stage, they're themselves, and all they need is a fucking microphone. I got to go out there, and I got to have fucking lasers and big screens and kids on Molly in the back, and everyone's like, oh my God. And that's why when I do go out on tour, because I'm definitely touring for this, I'm stripping it down. I've been in arenas for like fucking 6 years. I don't want to fucking do arenas. I want to do theaters, 3,000 to 7,000 cap fucking theaters, simple backdrop, the shittiest lighting show, and it's gonna be about me as a fucking MC doing my thing. But what I'm saying is, here, this being me is the best thing I know how to do and be. So even when I do rap, there's still some personification of like, yeah, but I'm like Logic, the rapper. This is the side of me that's rapping, or the side of me that's got to be super. Like here, I can be me. I can be funny. We can talk. I can literally do this all fucking day.
Right.
And the fact that's letting me know that this is where my future is going, especially on YouTube and social media. And I'm making a serious investment. So for all my fans who are watching, let me just tell y'all, I'm spending fucking a fuck ton of money to do the YouTube and the green screen videos and the trap and all this other stuff. And I
it's
love
cool, man. I love it. I went to your channel, man. I watched a few videos and I liked it. I was like, oh, I just feel like I'm getting to know him.
Dope.
It's engaging. It's different from his history as a musician. And also I think it's like, when you grow up in a place with a lot of chaos and a lot of like kind of trauma, which is a buzzword that people use these days. But when you grow up in that environment, you don't really get a chance to settle down sometimes till you're almost a late bloomer in some ways in life, where you don't get a chance to kind of, it takes a time for things to settle.
It's like Michael Jackson. Imagine how Justin Bieber must feel. It's a real thing. Like for kids who never like really got to have a childhood. You know what I mean? And had a childhood in front of the whole world. Like, bro, think about some shit that you've done or said that you wouldn't even want to say publicly. Like that would totally get you canceled because you were just a normal human being who maybe said a wrong joke or this or that. Like as a kid. Like as kids, like we all say and do dumb shit. I don't give a fuck who you are. We're humans.
Yeah. Well, there's two blackface kids, dude.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. It's like we've all done something.
Yeah. That kid's 2 years old, dude.
Yeah, he's fucked. He's canceled.
Yeah.
He's canceled. He's 2. You're canceled.
They blurred his fucking face out. People, you think 20 years from now, people are gonna be like, are you little Eddie? Is this you? Like, what the fuck?
I think it's really funny though how it's like a whole, not bit. I almost said bit. We did the bit, but it's like a whole thing on blackface, but they don't show the blackface.
Oh no.
Like, why would you blur it out? It's almost like Asian porn.
Yeah.
Where you blur, it's like, what's the point?
Oh, they blur out the faces?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
I mean, I guess maybe it's like because that's somebody's child. I don't know, but it's just almost like, hey, here's a write up on this thing, and then you go because you want to see it, but you can't see it. How you gonna see blackface when the face is blurred?
Well, I mean, it's like, and also like at least if the kids are gonna do it, let them fucking do it. Or is that the right take or not? Maybe not. So what I'm trying to say is,
Definitely not.
yeah, well, look, dude.
Fuck
look.
no.
Well, one of them was a cop and one of them was a fucking construction worker.
What do you mean one of them? What does that mean?
I'm just saying one of them.
What? No, I'm just
Them
kidding.
kids,
I'm
man.
fucking with you, man.
Dude, congrats on the new album. It comes out March.
February 24th. It's called College Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
It comes out February 24th. It's called College Park. Thanks so much, dude. Yeah, I'd love to chat again sometime.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be cool, come by every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I want to make my rounds too, man. Any homies or different people that you know that you think it'd be fun to fuck
What
with
about
them?
Tiger Belly? Have you been on there?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
No.
yeah.
I want to do it all, man. So like, let me know. I want to fuck with whoever.
I'll think of some great ones, man.
All right, yo, make sure you check out Troy Bond.
Okay.
I'm telling you, man, the kid, he's really special. It's almost like when I first fucking met Pete Davidson. We used to hang all the time, and I was like, oh yeah, this dude's out of here type.
Really?
Shit. It's that feeling, yeah.
It just felt like he had just like a unique energy.
Yeah, and he does, and I mean, like he says, he looks like a Puerto Rican lesbian. Like it's hilarious. Like,
Yeah. A lot of people thought he was Brittany Griner. Remember a couple months ago?
What?
There was a lot of, you bring that up, honestly, Pete Davidson, Brittany Griner. Dude, Brittany Griner was I went to the golf this past weekend. I was in Phoenix. Brittany Griner was there. I had a chance to meet her, and I had to do something for a buddy.
dude, I would have loved to be like, yo, what's that like? Wait, this is a real thing? On
Oh,
the internet?
yeah, this is happening.
It's a doppelganger. Oh, it's totally in that one right there, though.
Yeah, a lot of people
When
thought
she's
that
on
that
the
was
plane?
Pete Davidson when they traded for Russia or whatever. Dude, here's a crazy thing that I heard
What?
from some like I was at like a party and they had some Israeli guys there, and they said that the reason Brittany Griner got busted or she was over there, there's like a Russian czar or whatever that pays women to come play basketball topless over there. And that's what she was doing over there in the first place. Because no one asked, like, what was she even doing in Russia in the first place?
Oh.
I don't know if that's true, but it was real interesting. But she just got a haircut. I almost got to meet her at the golf tournament. You have a favorite football team?
I fucking hate sports. I'm trying to get into it.
Fuck it, man.
It's not that I hate it. It's just like I've just fucking never. I mean, I love skateboarding. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
that's a
used to-
sport.
Yeah, I used to do that shit till I was like 20 years old. Like I
Really?
was obsessed. Yeah, I'm actually going to have dinner with Paul Rodriguez tonight.
No.
One of the greatest skateboarders of fucking all time. Yeah, I was doing this interview with this cat named Vic Blends,
Uh-huh.
and he
Yeah, dude, I see him. I follow him on TikTok.
yeah, he's super dope. And I did an interview with him, and I won't give that away, but
Okay.
it was really special. And anyway, I ended up meeting Paul Rodriguez, so that's all. I'm
Dang.
saying. Yeah.
Dude, well, it sounds like you have a lot of new stuff going on in your life, man. Thanks for coming in and sharing it with us, man.
Thanks for being so cool, and I'm glad that you're sober.
Thanks,
And,
man.
Yeah, and
Yeah, I feel pretty good about it. It's a little bit. Yeah, I feel like it's the only way I can do things now, kind of.
well, what do you mean?
I don't know if I was fucked up if I'd be able to do anything.
Well, I mean, were you fucked up? I mean, look at you.
No,
look at you
but it's
with a
just
mask.
always the fear of being that I don't
Sounds
know
like
if
me.
I go out what it could be like tomorrow. I don't want to risk that I'm not going to be able to be here with you.
I love how honest you are, man, and that's how I feel. Honesty is obviously. I know we should be wrapping up here, but I just want to say, like, how long had you done hard drugs?
I think if somebody had something, I would do it. So I didn't go around a lot of people that had it, but if somebody had a little something on it, I would do it, you know? I met a dude at a laundromat one time and did some damn LSD, dude. Left all my fucking clothes in there and fucking left.
What's your drug of choice?
Probably cocaine,
Yeah.
I would say.
What does
probably.
it feel like?
If I had to guess, I would say cocaine.
What's it like?
Let me think. I like cocaine because it makes me feel exactly how I want to immediately. Like having a beer, it's like, hey, I got to talk to Patrick or Ricky. You know what I'm saying? If I have cocaine, dude, I get to go home, fucking hold on to my fucking wiener and be scared. And
Wait, what?
yeah, that's what you do, dude. If you're doing a bunch of cocaine at your house, you hold on to your fucking wiener and you be scared. And then you hope that you'll live. but you don't know if you will.
Are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
And what, do you like that feeling? Do you like it?
I think there's a part of me that relates to that feeling so much.
Oh yeah, but that just sounds like desperation, and all that sounds like fucking childhood trauma.
Yeah. Agreed. I think
deep.
it just attaches to that old shit.
I couldn't
you know?
imagine you on cocaine. So like, how many times have you ever been on cocaine while you were doing the show?
No.
I couldn't imagine. You're already so like,
I'd be so scared.
you're super chill. Like, this is what's crazy. It's like you're chill, but animated at the same time. And I feel like if you were on cocaine, like, you would explode.
Oh, I would be looking at porn on my phone.
Oh my God.
And I'd be pretending I wasn't. That'd be the tough part. Dude, I would drive and do cocaine and be looking at like escort. It was just all just tragic. And I think I didn't like, but I think I liked cocaine because it's like, I want to feel, I don't want there to be any ambiguity about how I want to feel. I want to feel how I want to feel right now.
Yeah, but you're talking about grabbing your wiener and freaking out. Are you serious? I mean,
I'm 100% serious.
what do you like about it though? The feeling, like what feel? Because I'm just curious. Like, what does it?
It gave you an excuse to be it gave you an excuse to grab your wiener.
Bro, shut the fuck up. What are you talking about?
That's what I'm telling you, man.
No, man, you do blow, right? This is how I imagine it. It's
All right.
like, all right, you're in the Hollywood Hills. You got 6 bitches with you. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You're fucking driving in a drop top coupe and you fucking do a line and you fucking feel invincible. That's what I think cocaine is. You're describing it as like, oh shit. That does not sound fun. That does not sound fucking fun at all, man. I'm definitely never doing cocaine now.
Yeah.
Shit, thank you. All right, good interview. Fuck.
Gang.
Now I'm just floating on the breeze, and I feel I'm falling like these leaves. I must be cornerstone. Oh, but when I reach that ground, I'll share this peace of mind I found. I can feel it in my bones.